Finally, has found a home. 105.1 TMC, the best of us. Welcome to the Magic Hour. TikTok star Korean Magic takes you on a trip around the world. Feature music from Asia,
How you like that?
Europe, the US, and more. The Magic Hour, 12 noon till 1 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The Magic Hour of 105.1 TMC.
Ubo ng anak, napapahala, baka plema. Para dyan, Blemex for Kids ang pambatuko. Ang Blemex for Kids ay gawa sa lagundi. Tinutunaw at pinalalapas ang plema. Ginhawa para sa bata, peace of mind para kay mommy. Camille Pratsiambao po, nag-reflex for Blemex.
Phoenix and Buboy is the generic name of Plex for kids. Symptoms persist and solve up to mommies. Agad ang ubo at plemang nakabara. Pambatang lagundi, Plemex!
Hi, ako si Police Officer Mel Villacarlos. To serve and protect, kanahang isumpaan nato nga trabaho. Walang tagpili basta para sa katawan. Maong kinahanglan alerto o pirming. Sabay sa healthy diet o exercise, kauban sab nako ang MX3 capsule. Tested and proven nga cholesterol-free o fat-free. Easy Police, kauban nako ang MX3 ready to serve. MX3, diri ko bilin.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin paggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Experience Cebu on a plate at Taste Cebu 2025. New Star Resort Cebu invites you to the biggest dining festival of the year, featuring local artisan chefs, top students from Cebu's culinary schools, and amazing lineup of New Star chefs on January 17 at the New Star Grand Ballroom. Indulge in a feast of flavors with over 40 dishes. Explore immersive displays and discover Cebu's hidden gems. See you at New Star, and together, let's taste Cebu. One bite at a time. For details on ticket sales, visit newstar.ph or call 032-888-8282.
105.1 Thompson Media Center, broadcasting from over 2,000 feet closer to heaven and Tops. 105.1 TMC.
Well, 5.1 TMC, Kurt Fick, Jackie Chang, Sulti Palanca. It is now 6:59 alas 9 na gyud sa Kabuntagon. January 14 on 105.1 TMC, the best of us. Basta ko para ano?
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Cookies and naminaw ka sa pinakasupuanon nga radio station 105.1 TMC, the best of us. You're a beautiful sunrise. You make the day so bright. Your smile is contagious. Such a cute surprise. You're getting away, getting away, getting away. Life isn't so bad. You're getting away, getting away, getting away. Such a good vibe.
Morning, guys. We're going to go live in a few moments here in 105.1 TMC. We're just cleaning up. Morning, Sam.
Yeah.
So you feel the mic. So we're going to go live here from 105.1 TMC sa Facebook Live. Get ready.
Hi, Jiggy!
Hey, morning.
I said, where's Jiggy? I used the restroom quickly, ha?
Is your uncle coming here?
Yeah, he's on the way pa.
How is he?
He's okay yesterday. I was able to talk to him, yeah. It's nice, guy. He said, bro, God will check it. So this about the one family that they didn't tell us. I know, that's why I'm asking you about it. He said, like, the family history, you know, he had to research on his own. Why don't they tell us? I don't know.
So
How are you, Jiggy?
So what are we gonna talk about today?
I think we can talk about
How long does he intend to shoot the video?
into what?
Shoot the video. How long is he
Maybe
here?
like an hour lang, Jiggy. I think naman eh, not a lot of footage. You're only shooting one video here.
He has so many songs, 40 songs. Oh my god.
They wanted to, I told him, Bito, what the heck? He wanted to bundak it, man, okay?
To Bundaki.
Bundak and release it all, okay? For the longest time, na busy siya silang firm.
What for?
Narvios Law Firm, so cool. I was like, I wanna intern. Can I please come and intern at
In
your
the States?
in the States? It was a Texas.
What's his name? What's his radio name again? What's his
Artist name, Rocco Steady.
Rocco Steady.
Yeah, Rocco
Yeah,
Steady.
Rocco Steady.
I think I should be beside you, no?
No, it's up to you.
Yeah. Yes.
How many are they there?
It's just him. But I think
No,
his
no, no,
camera
no.
guy will stay here man on the side.
You don't have to do it.
Okay.
Just let them do it.
Okay. Because his camera guy will on this. Film for his
Yeah, but he doesn't have to sit there.
video. Okay.
That's mine. Come on, no, not there.
Ayun, tama.
Whatever you feel comfortable, I'm just saying.
Okay. Sige.
Ah, yeah. I'm trying to email the song.
Ah, yeah? Were you able to i-drop ka na okay ang file?
Yeah, get more file.
I wasn't too sure yet.
Rocco Steady.
Rocco. Yeah.
Rocco Steady.
It was
Did you
funny.
listen to it? No.
I did. He let
What's
me
the best?
listen.
Which one's the best song for you?
I did listen to all songs. He had another song. I like this one, Sinulog, more. Yeah, it's nice. His wife is also there in the female vocals. You can hear her in the background. He also has a. His
Was-
other songs are okay.
was he a
Mas
singer?
hip-hop yun.
Was he already a singer?
Before? Yeah, he's been doing music since he
in the
was like.
Philippines again. Oh, he never had a chance to live
He
here.
was here in the Philippines for 8 years lang. After 8
Ah,
years
so-
old, dito na siya.
When he was 8 years old.
He went to the States.
When he was 8 years old?
8 years old.
So dili siya kaning
Live siya sa Brooklyn and
so
then
his musical life
he's not here.
began when
There now.
when he was already there. So din mabot siya.
That's the
Can
thing.
you email it to me?
Yeah,
Again?
sure. Email?
Oh.
Okay. Sige, punta ka.
Or I can play.
Okay.
Halo Cebu 2021 at gmail.com. This email address.
Punta ka. Just work.
Siya email. Oh, like I emailed it from Viber ba?
Right there.
From Viber.
Sige lang.
I emailed it from Viber. I can't get it. There. This email I emailed this.
Okay. Halo Cebu. Halo Cebu 2021 at gmail.com. Okay, GK, I'm still uploading it lang ha.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, they're on their way na
Where
daw.
was the studio finally?
There's a new studio. There's the Nest beside it, like in the
it's
parking.
So it's not in that building.
Not in the other building.
Not in the building that I dropped you at.
Yeah.
Not there.
It's
Where was
the-
it? Where is it?
The one beside it, katong na the Nest, and then
What's the next bar?
no, it's like a space. Like you can rent different rooms for co-working, like offices and meeting boardrooms. Ang next rooms niya is like event space and gaming studio. So and after that, nag-shoot pag siya music video sa Puente. Like we had coffee for a bit lang there in Horizon old building. Then he went to Puente. Okay, he has a song daw called Pogi. Yeah, they look for a random tito that's willing to like be with them in music video. Give
Tito.
give him a haircut and then buy him new clothes there.
Random.
Yeah, so that's what they did. Like they looked for a random guy and then just offered him a haircut and offered him new clothes. And to just be in the music video.
Why?
Kaya ang song is about pogi man and the concept of the song now is like it's confidence. It's not really like
So why
titos can be.
why random?
Or it's genuine. It's not like someone you just. It's not just like contracted for the video. It's like anyone can be pogi. Anyone can be guapo daw if given the ana. He showed me another
But
music video
how-
dito po sa Colon. So in the next few past days, grabe yung team oy too. They're like working so hard to release so many songs.
New star.
Hi. It's kind of heavy, so I have to upload it via a drive. There we go. Share. Okay. I believe it's sent to GB. I believe
Do you believe it to be true?
Here it is.
New star.
Oh, no, it's not. Marco G, yeah. I really don't. You know that song?
I believe in it.
No, you have to sing it like her. She thinks like that, man. Diba? Anak ka siyang tingog, no?
Big voice.
Do you believe in love?
We also, did you see her? When did you see her
Karon?
elevation to the
Oh, it's playing now.
to the Hall of
Did
Fame.
they play it? We played on the. Okay.
And that's on the air. That's
Not on the air
sige lang,
yet.
sige lang, okay lang. That's already on our YouTube.
Oo. I'm surprised she still knows Bisaya, bitaw. He's sent to work with ano daw, sila Elamino. I said, oh, they're nice. Like, my co-host interviewed them sa studio. He said, really? I said, yeah, Elamino went already to TMC. Kasi boom pa. We got 40 songs, so that's already my 4 albums. Why don't you just release it as 4? I said, no, I just wanted it all out. And it's kind of, he said, I'm impatient and I want it out now. Okay. Well. So I've been so busy with work na yan, na daw yung wife na, wala man ka nagsigig smile, like, we need to go back to making music. Come on, siya karoon mo na yung project that was released. Pero ang music video, 24 ra kabuok. Wala ni 40 said.
Yeah, you don't need to make that.
Yeah, not all man.
In fact, it's not necessary.
Kung may co-host suggests, bago ko siya, really siya. Okay, I'll take your advice on that. Because he says, my good uncle, I told him, wala, no one will want to listen to it after na.
Now they can see us already at the start now.
Okay.
Can I?
Hi guys, stop with the morning.
Yeah, they can actually see us right now.
Perfect. We can be seen and heard.
Yeah. That's what we need. We want to be seen and heard. So pathetic.
Very pathetic. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, actually.
You know what it's called? What Carl Sagan calls it?
What's that one?
The folly of human conceit. The folly of human conceit.
The folly of human conceit.
Yeah.
Quite conceited in that sense. No, you want to be seen. You want to be heard. Well.
And we wanna have an advantage. So because it's all about.
But we talk about narcissism a lot. I saw this, psychologist say where do you draw the line with narcissism and self-love? And the psychologist said narcissism is self-love without love for others.
Okay, I think your uncle's here already.
Eh? Really?
Yeah. Go on.
Oh yeah, he's here.
Okay.
Hey, perfect. Hi, Uncle. Hi. Good morning. How are you? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good morning,
Uncle,
Rocco
this is-
Steady, sir.
This is
Nice to see
Chiki.
you.
my
Hi, good
co-host.
afternoon, or good morning, sorry.
Morning.
How's everything, huh?
Everything's
Huh?
good. How about you?
Good.
Thank you
This
for
is
coming.
Gracier.
Hi, sir.
Jesse?
Gracier.
Gracie.
Gracier.
Yes,
Gracie.
sir.
Sige,
Hi, sir.
sige, you guys have a seat. Yeah.
Alright, Uncle.
There. Sama Justin, diha lang na
Oh,
sila.
magtapad lang ni.
Magtapad lang mo.
Okay. Here ka, Uncle.
Let me talk to him 1 second.
No problem,
Okay.
no problem. Yeah.
So,
So I can't start with okay na kanina, Justin?
Yeah,
Is
good.
it okay, it's not too bright for you?
Sakto ra na shades sa ko. Ikaw, okay na nimo?
Pumupuila ka, Mike. Gwapo na kayo. It's too much. I can't stand. I think I'll fall in love with me.
What? Sakto, you know what? White is really one of your kanang ano nga color gyud. White, beige, blue,
If
color theory.
Huwag sila gamay. Just
Oh,
so kayo.
Yes, yes.
I might fall in love with me.
With yourself.
So that's enough. That's enough. Now,
Okay.
I'm feeling like myself now.
Okay. Not too much na. Not too much in love na.
Yeah, but it comes from that schmuck named Narciso, right? Narciso complex.
Oh, nga murag he was so obsessed with himself. He looked down on the river and then ano? Hi Uncle, how are you?
Good.
For the purpose of the show, I'll just call you Rocksteady.
Oh,
It just feels disrespectful because you're my uncle. I don't want to be like uncle, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay na ba?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you can place your bag here on the chair.
Don't make us look bad. That's it. Make
Okay,
us look good, okay?
Something like kanang dili nga ganahan ma-appeal sa video.
Nothing.
Wala raman, sir? Wala raman, Jiggy, no?
Yeah, don't show our private parts.
They're,
okay?
they're professionals.
Okay.
No private parts,
Thank you,
please.
sir. Oh, I got your message here. Just as says here. Okay.
Anytime.
Really? Where? When? What? What do you mean?
On the internet.
When?
On our YouTube live?
Yeah. On
Oh,
the
okay.
YouTube live. Yeah.
Sorry, man. I apologize.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It
Uncle.
must have been a horrible experience, huh?
No. I'm a big fan of people's voices.
Really now?
Yeah, you definitely have
No,
you've
you think so?
mastered your MC voice.
Yeah. I actually been doing this one for quite a bit.
For around 30 years,
Did you? He's never heard of Y101, right?
No, because you've
I
been
mean-
in the States for almost 30 years.
I've heard
ago,
of Y101. I always came back and forth.
back and
Yeah.
forth here. Okay.
I came back and forth often, like every year. No, it stayed for like three months.
Yeah.
I'll just play it from here first because I can't seem to download it. It's not downloadable.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a drive. Uncle, I'll attach this to you it's for another live stream. Okay. So yeah, we have aside from being played on the radio, we're live on the YouTube live. So these are the two cameras, this one and this one, but it's gonna move in a bit. So they can hear everything even when the music stops playing.
Right now,
We can see the
they're already
comments.
listening to us.
Yeah, we have
eavesdropping.
one viewer already so far. One person on the chats. Hi, Joe Lim. Thank you for joining us again today. One of our daily. Yeah, so we have.
Hold on, let me just share the video.
Okay.
Let's share the video so people can see us.
Yeah, is it not too hot? I'm not just
Okay.
start more init, no?
Thank you.
Si Makibaw ka mag-Binisaya. Sir.
Kipalo.
Okay. Kung sa man imong Binisaya kanina.
Laong kayo.
Laom kayo.
Laom nga.
Dili ta makatugkad sa imong Binisaya.
Sobra ka laong ba?
Di
Ikaw ka
ka
laong.
dili ta makatugkad.
Dili.
Kano sa man imong katapusan nga sinulog?
Why'd you go kasuwag sinulog?
Really?
Never yet.
Okay.
So this is a kind of unique experience of
So you obviously can speak Binisaya, right? Like, how did that happen? Like your parents
I was
spoke Binisaya in the household?
I was raised here.
Oh, because you're until 8 now? Until 8 years old?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So he used to be in Banawa.
Mhm.
You give for like
Okay,
used
but
to live
8.
in Banawa
Yeah, okay,
until
so
he was like 8.
okay.
So then he learned Bisaya here and then dito po I think he still speaks Bisaya.
English was my second language.
second day.
Really?
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So pag binisaya nimo nagsugod-sugod kang in English pag mo sa Amerika.
Oh,
Okay.
So mo ning tinuod nga Bisaya Jiggy.
Ah,
Real
tata.
Bisaya mas
Real
better
binisaya.
than me. Di ay kay I learned English first pa man bali
Oh.
noon taon ko.
I mean I learned
English
English.
just as much as I learned Bisaya, yeah. And the reason that I'm proficient in Bisaya is because, see, di man ko ganahan niya bugal-bugalon ko sa mga igagaw. So
So you lived in an all
Bisaya house.
Bisaya household.
Oh yeah, my parents are both Bisaya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, I think you need to move the.
Okay. We'll just set up real quick.
That's a podcaster 2 Rode.
You mean the...
Caster? Yeah.
Oh,
Rode
yeah, yeah.
podcaster. I have one of those. They're good.
This kind of, ano?
I love those things because you can press the buttons.
This one.
And then they make you can
Sound
program it
effects.
for sound
Yeah,
effects.
that's what he always does.
The boos,
Yeah.
the claps.
Yeah. Atong tak na karon 52 minutos nang nilabay sa alas 9. Welcome to Top of the Morning. I am your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
Hi, my name is Justine Arvios.
Top of the Morning sa kanatong tanan. And today, January 14, 2025. Easily 5 days to go before you know what, right?
Yep.
The Sinulog is just right around the corner. And we have a very special Balikbayan guest, I should say, who's going to be experiencing the Sinulog, according to him, for the very first time. Why don't you kindly introduce our special guest today to our listeners and viewers? Justine, go ahead.
All right, top of the morning, guys. So today we have a very special guest. He's actually a civil litigation lawyer.
Oh my God, really?
Yes, with his
That's
own...
that sounds really, really scary.
That sounds scary. He's a civil litigation lawyer with his own firm in Texas, but
no.
he's back in Cebu because he's working on a special project.
Wow.
He's set to release around a 40-song album.
40 songs?
50, yeah.
50 song, right?
Oh my God.
Ibundak niya 50
Bundak.
songs.
Okay.
in
Most of
one
the artists in
release.
Cebu don't have 50 songs.
Exactly. So he's set to release 50 songs at the end of the month. And he has a special song release actually at the end of this week called Sinulog. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Rocksteady.
Ladies and gentlemen, maayo buntag na, top of the morning. First and foremost, salamat kayo, Jiggy Juice, Justine Arvios, salamat kayo. It's an honor to be here on your platform. I've been watching it. I'm a big fan, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. It's a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. So actually, it's actually Rocco Steady,
Rocco
right?
Steady, yeah.
Sorry, it's Rocco Steady. Right, so how many days have you been here in the Philippines already?
It's about 5 days, yeah.
5 days. And
Yeah.
what have you been busy with so far? I know yesterday and the other days, puro mga photo shoot, video shoots, right?
Yeah, photo shoots, video shoots, just networking with local artists,
Okay.
connecting with different venues, taking the opportunity, just breathing in the scene, you know, checking it out and just connecting with different people. And I must say, I'm truly impressed with the local talent, which I think that this is the platform that you have. Justine was telling me yesterday about the platform and how you're sharing it with the homegrown talent that you have here. And I think that's a really awesome thing that you're doing because there's a ton of talented artists out here.
That's right.
You know,
And I barely scratched the surface. I just met a few, you know?
yeah, really. Like who did you get a chance to meet?
So I had not meet, but I had an opportunity to be introduced to. So there's a couple of different artists that I heard about, and one of them was a gentleman named Range 999.
Okay.
He's a gentleman that's currently incarcerated.
Yeah, okay.
But he's making music in
Okay,
there.
okay.
And I think the music's really dope. And I think like shout out to Cookies. He's somebody that I've definitely connected with, and
Okay.
it's an opportunity for us to, as a hip hop community, to be able to represent Cebuano and Bisaya hip hop, and to be able to have that platform to let the world know.
You know what? One of the most interesting things about you is that this is your first time to attend the Sinulog, right?
Yeah,
And that is very, very interesting. And I'm wondering, like, say mong pamati ba, how do you feel about number one, the anticipation ba of
Yeah.
of being able to experience Sinulog for the first time? Because you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier that you were born here in Cebu. Asaw dapita sa Cebu ka na
No,
to?
I was born in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, okay.
And then I was sent back to
Oh, okay.
Cebu. Yeah.
Nga naman, nga naman. You were such a bad infant? What?
No. You know what? You know, the perspective lang.
Abi na ko gigawan ka ba? Exile ka ba?
Nah,
Kaya you were
nah.
such a bad infant. You know, not a bad child, a bad infant.
Infant pa eh.
No, but like shout out to my parents. You know, I really owe a lot to
I'm
them.
just kidding, okay.
You know, and to answer that question, it's my parents were starting out.
Okay, okay.
In America, and as they were working hard, they wanted the best opportunity for me to be surrounded by people who could take care of me.
Okay.
And I could be surrounded with time and kind of the quality time it was necessary to raise a kid.
Okay,
Or
okay.
else I would have just been like, you know,
So you were
left
born.
alone,
You were
yeah.
born in Dallas, Texas, but you were raised here until
Cebu City, yeah.
until 8 years old, right?
Yeah, around there.
Okay.
Around there.
So during that time, were you was there already a Sinulog? Not yet, right? Not yet. Not
I
yet.
mean, I don't know. I was too
Because
young.
Sinulog was established in 1980.
Okay. So yeah, there was definitely a Sinulog.
Okay, so but you didn't have
Yeah,
any.
I'm not 70.
So, but there was no awareness of Sinulog, right?
No, not
For you.
not for me.
So
no.
when did you become aware of this festivity, this celebration
Right, right.
of faith, this Mardi Gras called the Sinulog?
So I was aware of Santo Niño.
Okay.
So one of my aunts gave me a Santo Niño when I was young, and I
Okay.
would hold on to the Santo Niño.
Okay.
Just imagine a little kid holding a Santo Niño.
Okay.
Every time I got scared, I would hug the Santo Niño.
Okay, okay.
It was a very special and symbolic, special. Santo Niño was very special to me, and
Okay.
all my life I've always like leaned on Santo Niño. I pray to Santo Niño.
Okay.
And it's something that.
So when your aunt gave
Yeah.
you the Santo Niño, what did she say? Who was this figure that you have in your hands?
I don't necessarily remember who gave it to me.
okay.
But I know that underneath it has my Tita Baby's handwriting.
Okay.
But somebody gave it to me. It's been so many years. I still have it. It's
Okay.
in my house.
Okay.
And so what they told me was that Santo Niño is always going to protect you. Is always going to, watch over you. And so I took that to heart. So even
Okay.
if it was like raining outside and I got scared as a kid, I would hug Santo Niño.
Okay.
Before I go to sleep, I kiss Santo Niño on the cheek. It's
Okay.
a very special, just a special way for me to be able to connect with God. And,
Okay.
yeah. So first and foremost, I've always known Santo Niño.
Okay.
But I never knew about Sinulog.
Sinulog.
Right. And so I learned about Sinulog because all of the, because there's a lot of marketing behind it. There's a lot of hype around it. It's a very special, people travel all around the world. And it's something that Cebu is very proud of. And so when I found out about Sinulog and everyone's like, hey, you should go to Sinulog. You should be performing in Sinulog. As I was creating the album, I used Sinulog as an opportunity for me to kind of look forward towards a goal. I was like, my goal is I want to go back to the Philippines and go to Sinulog. And by that time, I would want to create a project. And within that project, I didn't anticipate I would create a song called Sinulog, but I would watch the videos. I studied the history. I was able to kind of ask myself from my own artistic perspective, what does Sinulog mean to me?
Okay,
And so
okay.
Sinulog literally means, the flow of water, right? So that's what I feel like spirituality is to me. My connection with God is just like when I'm in flow and I'm connected with God, everything works out better for me in my life. And so I started to use that as a mantra, as a way for me to think about my project. And so it started to flow,
Okay,
and the
okay.
creative juices worked. And before I know it, I had all of these songs. I had all of these ideas, all the production.
Sinulog
yeah.
is like 5 days away.
Yeah.
So what are your expectations?
My expectations is just to experience it, to be open, experience it, have fun with the people, connect
Okay.
with them, and shoot great content so I can share.
where
Yeah.
so where will you be? What do you have you already strategized where you're going to be? Because it's going to be a bunch of chaos, right?
Yeah, it is.
There's going to be there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people in the streets
sure.
and all of that stuff. So have you already strategized? What?
So I'm lucky enough to be working with my videographer who's filmed and is experienced with Sinulog.
Okay.
So he has the itinerary,
Okay,
and
okay.
he's kind of like guiding me through that.
Okay.
But I have no expectations. I'm not supposed to be anywhere at any time.
Okay.
My whole thing is I'm just going to take it in, and if it gets a little overwhelming, I'll take a step back, yeah.
Pahulay sa rest.
Yeah, yep. Pag yun na, this will be your first time to experience the Sinulog.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're also going to be unleashing to the world an entire album made out of 50
Grabe.
songs, right? So all that pent up energy.
Yes, yes.
How do you call this? Encapsulated in 50 works of art called a song, or 50 songs for
Yeah.
that matter. Tell me about this monumental project. No,
Right.
not even Taylor Swift can release 50 songs
songs
at one time, right?
Right.
Tell me about it.
Well, I think that the music industry has gone through several transitions of evolution. I mean,
Okay.
and I like that. When I talk to the younger generation, they teach me a lot. And so I learned that there is no standard anymore. We come from a generation of a standard amount of songs, a EP, an LP, a album release, how many singles you're supposed to have. And I'm an independent artist. I've never signed to a record label, and I've been an independent artist for over 25 years. So before I became an attorney, about 8 years ago, I was a full-time artist. I toured the world. I've had the opportunity to share the stage with some of our greatest artists. And in that opportunity, I discovered that there are no rules as an artist, unless, of course, you're working with individuals who create those rules for you, those standards. And so as an independent artist, I have to take advantage of the fact that I'm independent so I can do what I want to do. And so I just created, at the end of the day, I just created. And when I took a look at my playlist, I was like, and I like them all. I fall in love with every single track. And I just said, this is as an artist, I believe the more that I create, the more that I don't hesitate, the more the juices flow. Right. And I build the momentum, and it just kept packing on. The album is called Who That Filipino.
Who That Filipino?
Who that?
Who That Filipino? Mangutana jud sila. And I think it's a fitting title because every time I walk in the room, Mangutana man sila. Who that? Get some of that 50 songs. Get some of that. I like stirring the conversation.
Yeah. I know that the backstory here is that you have been a professional when Justin introduced you. A lawyer in the United States. You've been doing so many things for the past few decades now, and you have sort of shelved the artist in you, right? Yeah. So I guess the next question would be: tell me about the first iteration of Rocco Steady before you became a lawyer, before you became this how do you call this? This executive before you joined the rat race, if you will, right? You were an artist first, right? Is that a correct description of you?
Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
so tell me about that artist before you became this lawyer guy.
Right. So I'm a Philippine, a child of two immigrant parents that worked hard to make a life in America. English is my second language, besides it was my first. Going there to America, I struggled with the things that a person would struggle with when English is your second language. Hip hop became my mentor and teacher. I would listen to hip hop music, and hip hop music taught me English. I would ask and learn and study the dictionary.
Who are the so-called teachers?
LL Cool J. KRS-One, Rakim. These are the people I listened to be able to kind of learn English. And as I would learn English through these songs, I would memorize the songs. I would study the way that they said things, and eventually I became good at English, right?
Oh, wow,
and so that's the kind of the beginning stimulant to who I became as a hip hop artist. It started very young, 12 years old. So I started writing raps. I started writing rhymes, and I was naturally a shy kid, introverted. I still am, but hip hop gave me a voice. It gave me an opportunity to practice my confidence, to be able to practice my public speaking, and that was really rewarding to me because I learned that quickly that the number one fear of the world is public speaking. It's the fear of being judged by others, and I had an opportunity to really practice this craft that gave me an opportunity to face that fear every single day.
So how did you practice it? By rapping in front of people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Battle rapping. Okay. That was how I started.
If you don't mind me asking, what part of the United States is this? I'm assuming it's in the United States, right?
Yeah, Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah, Brooklyn, New York.
So tell me about the scene. Tell me about the rap battle scene and how you felt, because like you said, you're introverted, you're a kind of shy person. So who nudged you into that direction?
Well, the hip hop community was super supportive. So there was a group called Rock Steady Crew, and that's actually who gave me my first hip hop name. And so they were a breakdance crew. And so there's different elements of hip hop.
How old were you back then?
Man, young. I was like 9 years old. I was just out there hanging out with these, because I would watch them dance. I watch them dance, and malingaw naman ko. And so I would be out there watching them dance, and then they would give me a microphone, and I would introduce them and be like, "Hey, yo, welcome everybody." And so they kind of like adopted me as their like little kanang kauban ba, alalay ba.
Were these fellow Filipinos, or were they Brooklyn natives?
Brooklyn natives, mixed race, Puerto Rican, black.
All right.
Yeah, and so that's how I started. And then the battle scene was it's just a competitive sport, and growing up it was about impressing other MCs, impressing other rappers. It wasn't about like impressing your fans or other people. It was like, are you good? are you better than other MCs?
Okay.
And then that's what you practiced for. You went home, you practiced, you wrote lyrics,
Okay.
and you did it to impress other MCs, so other MCs would give you respect. Hip hop was a very respect-based kind of like industry and community. It was very supportive. At the time that I was doing it was very supportive. Even if you battled each other, it was all love, you know? And so as I grew up more and more, I started to write more and more lyrics. I started to develop my identity as an artist. And to add context to this, being raised by Filipino parents in a Filipino community, no one was rapping. I'm like the only Filipino that's rapping, you know,
Over there.
in America, you know. And hip hop wasn't as prevalent as it is today in the Philippines as well. You know, we have our classics, our legends, you know, Francis Mangalona, you know.
So were you aware of them?
Yes, yes.
Back then, when you were still a kid,
I was, yeah.
rapping. So
I
you
was.
were aware of Filipinos who actually did rap, right? Because you, like you said, it felt like you were the only one doing it in Brooklyn, in the United States.
Right,
But,
right.
but did you like? Were you constantly aware of what was going on in your hometown?
Well, I was aware of these these very like well-known artists.
Okay.
Like the Salbacotas, the Francis M's, the Andrew E's. You know, these are the legends that I was aware of.
Okay.
And at the time, there weren't a lot of Filipino rappers
yep.
here, and it's huge now. You know,
Yeah.
Flip Top is the biggest battle league in the whole world.
Yeah, okay.
And that's amazing to see. It's amazing to see the community grow and
Yeah.
expand the way that it has.
Uh-huh.
But in America, there were, I mean, even till now, we're still very slim. There's
Yeah.
a lot of talent, but
Yeah.
a lot isn't a lot comparative to the statistical value of the total package of MCs
Okay,
and artists.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
imagine what decade this was when you started.
Yeah, so the 90s.
The 90s.
The 90s.
So R&B and hip hop was still quite young then, still, right?
Yes, yes.
Back in the 90s, you mentioned LL Cool J, KRS. And
I mean, we're barely like crossing the 55-year mark.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. So tell me about the rap scene in Brooklyn
Right.
back then. Not just from the Filipino community, but just the general
Yeah, what's it like?
hip hop rap battle scene back then.
Well, hip hop was just it's a form of expression. It was a form of escaping a reality that you didn't want to be in, and this was a way for people to express their frustrations about society. And hip hop was created in order for us to empower the community, empower the people. So people would break dance, and people would create art, graffiti. People were beatboxing. People would just freestyle in the corner. It was a community sport. Everybody was very community based back then. So to paint a picture, it was like if you were to even try, people would just jam with you. They would have a good time with you. And so that's how I grew up. I grew up around a very supportive community of hip hop individuals, whether they were older, younger. I was just a young cat just trying to do my thing, and they would still support me. Like, all right, keep going, do your thing. And so I was surrounded by people that supported me, and that's what cultivated the confidence to continue to do what I was doing.
Okay. So, because what we hear here in the Philippines is, aside from the good side of hip hop, is also like the dark side of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
We all know about like Tupac, for example, and Biggie, and from what I understand, rapping and all music in general. I don't want to overgeneralize, but a lot of the parts of music is actually a kind of rebellion, right? A kind of angst, a kind of expression and a scream to the world that, hey, we matter too, right?
Right.
So did you experience that as well? Because it looks like what you experience in Brooklyn is all good vibes and all positive
right.
vibrations.
All love, yeah.
Was there that side as well that you experienced, or was it all love?
No, I mean, I can't generalize that it was all love. But
Okay.
I'm speaking from my personal reflection of experience. It was a positive experience.
Okay.
But hip hop is definitely just like life. It's a
Yep.
reflection of life, just
Yeah.
like any genre. There's gonna be the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
You know, in the 90s, it was prevalent. Gangster rap was a prevalent thing.
Yeah.
Gangster culture was a prevalent thing.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, from what I'm seeing right now, whatever the Philippines is experiencing now is something that they experienced back in the 90s over there. And so gangster rap has always been developed, but it gets really deeper than that, right? Like there's agendas, there's itineraries, there's people that are creating these types of scenarios in order to benefit certain situations. And so we never know what's happening behind closed doors, but at the end of the day, there's power in words, there's power in music, there's life and death in the power of the tongue, and we have the ability as artists to create certain music to be able to affect and impact not only other people's minds, but our own minds and our own lives. And so to answer your question, the dark side has always been there, and it still is there, because there's always a yin to a yang, a hot to a cold.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but you gravitated to artists like LL Cool J, which was kind of like he was like a positive guy, right?
Yeah.
More or less, right? KRS One,
Ladies love him,
yeah. So it was like I guess the wholesome side of R&B and hip hop, right?
hip-hop.
So that's where you gravitated to.
Well,
right?
I mean, there were sides in my life where I wanted to express dark as well.
Okay, all right.
You know, in this album, there's going to be dark.
Okay.
You know, there's always a different, like, but Jiggy, what happened in my life was there was a dark time in my life, and I did get in trouble, and I did get into the wrong type of situations. I did disappoint my parents, and I did disappoint myself. But there was also a time in my life where I discovered, and when I discovered this, that's when I kind of went to that side heavy, and I discovered that whatever I was speaking about in my music, it's kind of like the energetic thing that was affecting my life. And so I went all the way over there. So I went all the way over here, and then I went all the way over here. And then for like a long time, that was my previous album. My last album was called Do Better City before I went and became an attorney. And Do Better City was like probably the most positive record you'll ever hear. It's
Do Better City.
Do Better City.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it about the city where you're in New York City?
No. I'm currently in Houston.
Okay.
And so I've been.
So that
in
was a
Houston.
song about Houston.
It was it's an album about creating a city within yourself. So it's like whatever like you're creating, wherever you are, wherever you go. You can go to New York, Cebu, or Houston. That's the city within your heart, right? And so Do Better City is the desire to personally develop and get better every single day.
In case you're wondering what you're listening to, mga kaigalan, this is Rocco Steady. He's actually a Cebuano by heart artist who's now based in the United States in Houston, right?
Yes.
And he's back here in Cebu to reconnect with his roots. This will be the first time that he will ever experience the Sinulog, and he's also going to be unleashing an album for the ages, 50 songs. Grabe. And of course, you're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And my name is Justine Arvias. Hi, guys.
Do you have a question for Rocco Steady?
I do. But before I get into the questions, Top of the Morning to Joel Lim, who's joining us. Guys, you can also ask your questions. Text us at 0999-887-6070 if you have any questions or comments for Rocco Steady. Or you can join us on our live chat that's on YouTube. That's Tops Media Center. So Joel Lim says here, 50 songs. I would need 5 cassette tapes for this album if it was back in the 80s daw. Grabe. So I was asking about that before I ask you about the albums itself. I mean the songs that you're set to release. I want to ask about your life as a lawyer, because I do know that you're a civil litigation lawyer and you have your own firm. So when did that start? Like, when did you actually want to take up law?
Right. Great question. So I asked myself that over and over again whenever I first decided, because I didn't want to, right? I was always constantly being told by my parents, my titos and titas, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a nurse. And so I wanted to become an attorney because people started approaching me and asking me for legal advice.
Right.
I was always wearing suits when I was performing, so I think people just naturally thought I was an attorney, a trusted person to ask specific questions to. And I wanted to do more, Justine. You see, people would ask me these questions, and I was referring these cases out, and then I was like, I wonder what it's like to get these cases and to be able to have the resources and the skill set to be able to help these people. And so I started thinking about it, and that planted the seed. I got married. Shout out to my wife, Nimi. Nimi Narvios over there in Houston. Thank you so much for all your love and support. She always supported me. It's awesome thing whenever you meet somebody that's very supportive and is the right person that'll kind of help navigate through life with you. And so I was touring the world, and my life consisted of consistently going to different countries,
for shows,
staying in hotels, staying in Airbnbs, and always being on a plane, a bus. And I didn't think it would be fair, for me to be a I wanted to have a family. I wanted to
settle down,
to have
basically.
roots. I wanted to be able to pass on certain things to a next generation, right? And so I thought about it. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do that if I'm going to be constantly touring, and it's not fair to her.
Yeah.
And so it just came to me where I was like, well, why not go to law school? I'm always up for a new challenge. And lo and behold, I fell in love with the law. I became an attorney and started a business, and thank God the business has been flourishing and blossoming, and thanks to the clients, we've been able to build a beautiful foundation for the firm. And we've been able to exponentially grow in a matter of 4 years. And through the consistency and commitment that we've had towards our clients, we've been able to win cases and have landmark cases that are actually historical, even in the music industry, like for trademark law, and for us to be able to represent injured people. It's been absolutely amazing. And so making the decision into law only made sense when I was later older. So I went to law school when I was in my 30s. So it made sense for me to because I got music out of my system. I really put everything out. You know what I mean? I lived full time as an artist for 25 years, whether I was broke or whether I was making good money.
Resources,
At the end of the day, I lived it. I didn't work any other job.
So no regrets.
No regrets.
So you were an artist for 25 years.
25 years.
Wow. So I'm curious, like, how many albums did you put out, and did you have like songs that were charted in the United States and all of that?
Right.
Yeah.
So I've always been independent.
Okay.
And so I viewed art like obviously there's always the thought in your mind, what would it be like to be famous, right? To be on the national platform, international platform. But I realized that if I just had 1,000 fans, I could make 6 figures. I can make my money, and I can go home and have a nice life. And so I focused, instead of focusing on fame, I focused on building connections and building a community and serving that community, meaning delivering music, giving them T-shirts, meeting with them, meeting people that wanted to meet me. And so I developed a community that supported me. And so that's how I cultivated that was my business plan. My business plan was get those 1,000 people and give them what they want and be able to be consistent to represent them. And now those same 1,000 people have now, it's double, tripled. I didn't keep track of it. I lost track after the 1,000, but now they're clients as my law firm. Yeah.
Right. And that's interesting to me. Now these are your fans. They used to come to your shows. They used to listen to your music, buy your CDs, buy your merch and all that. And then later on, when you decided to go into law, they became your clients, right? They became your clients at the law firm.
They know their lawyer can get on the microphone and represent for them,
entertain them or represent for them.
Being an MC is the same thing as being a lawyer. The only difference is just the knowledge. It's just a different knowledge set,
and a different stage, rather.
Yeah.
Right? So you're a performer in the courtroom.
Still using your voice.
Yeah, that's right. So you mentioned before you got into law in your 30s, early 30s. And before that, you've been practicing music for 25 years. You toured the world. Before you met your wife, right?
Yeah.
So where are some of your favorite places that you've performed at?
Thailand's one of my absolute favorite places. The Philippines. I've toured the different regions of the Philippines, of course. Greece, Lebanon. I love the Middle East. Dubai. And all over the United States. Yeah. I've been to Brazil, Puerto Rico, Mexico.
And in all those countries, you were repping the Philippines. All your music was
always repping the Philippines. But naturally, because I am Filipino and I'm always standing on a stage saying, "Let me teach y'all something about let me teach you a
my
Filipino
culture.
word. Let me teach you something." But I never really made music specifically saying I'm Filipino or making specific music that represented the Philippines the way that I am in this album. So this album, I specifically harnessed my pride as a Filipino because I thought to myself, let me go ahead and just lay it all out. Because before, as an artist, you kind of struggle with certain things like, hey, I'm in America. If I talk about being Filipino, then I don't think they could relate too much. So you kind of like, maghuna-huna ka ba? And so you just rap skillfully. You just like
So lahi ang branding ni mo at that time as a rapper. It's more of like just creating the art and expressing yourself.
It was all about skills.
Right. Pero
rocking the crowd.
Karon sa kaninga album, for the 50-song album that you're set to release next month, right?
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about later on. it's really like fully focused on Philippine culture, how proud you are as a
Yeah.
Filipino, and kind of like that balikbayan feeling coming back home.
Right. Well, I mean, it's called Who That Filipino because I'm really letting them know who I am. Yeah,
Yeah.
like really, like the depths of it, the stories of my beginning, the story of the struggles, the story of the struggles of a balikbayan, the struggles of an immigrant, the struggles of societal issues in the Philippines and the Filipino community that I experienced, that I witnessed, that people don't really want to talk about. I'm talking about all of that, and then I'm also celebrating the strengths and the beauty and the things that I love about the Filipino community. And I'm also like, I got club bangers, that shows my Bustos side, because at the end of the day, we all have a little bit of Bustos inside of
I know.
us, right? Yeah.
I
Hala.
love that. Hala. No, but I love that. No, I think it's really important for artists to be transparent in that way. Kana bitag, you're not just projecting one side of yourself or the best side.
Right.
Because as Jiggy mentioned, no, even in hip hop, there's this positive side, there's a negative side. So I'm glad with this album, it's quite diverse.
Yeah,
You've got
yeah.
mga positive songs, negative songs for all ages as well.
Yes,
no?
yes.
So I'd still like to ask more about
Yeah, go ahead.
your lawyer life.
Go ahead.
I'm really
You know what?
interested, no?
You talked about your 50-song album. What are the songs that you're going to be releasing to the wild, if you will?
To the wild.
To the world, right? Is this next song the one I'm about to play?
Yeah.
It is the Sinulog song,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In fact, you're also up here to shoot a video
Yes.
of this particular song. Tell me about the song before we play it. Set it up for us.
Right. So Sinulog is my personal reflections of my relationship with Santo Niño. So in the verse, I'm talking about how I feel about God and how I felt like how God and Jesus has guided me in life. And despite the fact that I'm imperfect and I'm a sinner and I've gone through my life, he consistently shows up and stays in my life. And it's a love song towards Santo Niño.
Okay.
And it's encouraging other people to understand that despite the fact of wherever you've been through, pasaylo dyan ang Ginoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's listen to it together.
This is the first time this is ever going to
First
be played
time,
ever.
world premiere.
This is the world premiere.
This is not just an intergalactic premiere, right?
Intergalactic.
No one in the universe
No.
heard this.
has ever heard this next song. Mga kaigalan, what is this called again?
Sinulog.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rocco Steady, and for the first time, Sinulog, exclusive, and heard only on 105.1 TMC.
The best of us. Woo!
I have a surprise for you after the song. I have a surprise guest for you. Somebody that you'll be able to work with, perhaps.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Val? Sir? Rocco, Justin, this is the legendary Val San Diego. Val San Diego is he's already in the Hall of Fame when it comes to the Mardi Gras. He's the guy who's started it all in terms of dance. Val San Diego.
Oh, San Diego.
The San Diego Dance
San
Troupe.
Diego
Yeah.
Dance Troupe of
Yeah.
Cebu. Hi, nice to meet you, sir. Hello.
Have a seat, sir. Have a seat.
Good senor, sir. Wow. So the San Diego Dance Group, grabe dugay na kayo.
Kanan ba? Wait, explain to Rocco Steady who Val San Diego is.
Yeah, the San Diego Dance Troupe has been like, the dance group has been the biggest and pinakadugay na gid nga performers of Cebu sa sinulog, sa mga celebrations, mga what you call the Filipino historical dances.
In fact, they were elevated because they won so many times in the Sinulog Mardi Gras. They were elevated to the Hall of Fame, right? So you're no longer allowed because you're too good.
Balik-balik na.
In those days,
There's no limit to the devotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's the behind all of it. No, it's really the devotion to Santo Niño behind all the art. So, ang San Diego Dance Troupe even had their own schools here in Cebu also to teach dance,
in
right?
fact, it's the first dance studio.
First? Oh my goodness.
Back 1947.
1947. Grabe.
Started by my mom after the war.
So Rocco Steady here is a Filipino R&B and rap artist. See, he's here in town for the first time to witness the Sinulog.
First time.
Together like so many things we can collaborate with,
Sure,
dance
sure,
and
yeah.
R&B and hip hop.
We can promote it with dancing.
Yeah.
We would
Awesome.
love that. We love that, sir.
I would love that.
Nice.
So that's why I brought you guys together, because I think there's a kind of
Synergy, yeah.
synergy here. That's it. That's it.
And about the art side for
Yeah,
Sinulog,
yeah,
no?
yeah.
Sir, I don't know if related, you know, I have a couple friends na naasa San Diego silang last name, and then they worked at the ano for a while, si Paula San Diego and Liana.
She's my
Nieces? Oh, nieces. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, they're friends with my younger
Justine Argel.
sisters.
She's also a singer.
Yes, sir.
Recording artist.
My niece is Martina San Diego.
Okay.
Balay ni Mayang.
Oh, Balay Miyang. Okay.
Voice.
Yes. So, art and music, very much close to San Diego. Ano gid?
Mabuhay. Oh my God, that is a beautiful song.
Woo!
You know, when did you write
this song, man? I mean, obviously, this will be your first time to witness the Sinulog, but when did you know that the Sinulog was about this beat and this vibe and all of that stuff? Because I think you were able to capture the Sinulog vibe.
Yeah, it was about a month and a half ago that I made it.
Oh.
Yeah, I made it. It just came natural. I was just watching the videos. I was trying my best to study all the history, learning more about it, how it started, and just as I learned more about it, started watching it, I felt its energy, and this is just my artistic attempt to share my own personal inspiration towards the Sinulog, and it came natural. It happened and I'm rapping in Bisaya, and I never rap in Bisaya.
Right.
So did you witness, or were you able to see perhaps on YouTube on video?
Yes.
Or were you able to see the Mardi Gras, the dancing?
Yes.
Live, or was that just from videos? Because like you said,
Videos,
this will be your
yeah.
first time
Yes,
to
sir.
be in Cebu to witness the Sinulog, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that experience of watching the Mardi Gras, the dancing. What was on your mind when you were watching them from afar?
So the internet is an amazing place.
Yeah.
You could literally travel the world on the internet. It's actually, I watched Gracier's Gracier Films, his Sinulog video, and it was an amazing video. And I believe that his artistic view and his ability to capture the essence of what I needed to experience as a viewer was a beautiful representation of Sinulog. When I watched it, I was like, you know,
Who are you talking about?
Gracier. Gracier's the videographer.
your
right
video
here.
guy. Okay.
Yeah, he does amazing work. And
Okay.
I was watching that's how I connected with him through the internet. And when I watched his video, I saw all the ornate costumes. I saw the pride and the devotion towards Santo Niño, and just the camaraderie and the community of people that come from all over the Philippines and all over the world to be able to come here and celebrate, you know, the Santo Niño, and to be able to share that with each other. And I felt it. I caught the spirit. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, people share the love for Santo Niño the same way that I have love for Santo Niño, you know, when I was a child, the way I lean on Santo Niño. And so I was just like, I need to make a song about this.
Yeah.
And
you know what, Rocco Steady, you're in luck, because today we brought in somebody who started it all. At least his
For the Mardi
group,
Gras.
his group, the whole dance thing that you were watching from afar from YouTube. He's actually here. Ladies and gentlemen, mga kaigalaan, please help me welcome Val San Diego. Mayong bungkag ni mo dia, Val.
Maing buntag Subo, Viva Pit Senor.
Ooh, Viva Pizza!
You know what, Val? Not too many people know this, and I think Rocco Steady here will benefit from because we're trying to shortcut everything here for you, Rocco. We want you to be able to understand the Sinulog and all of its accoutrements and all of its intricacies. Hopefully, by the time you won't have to leave Cebu. You'll fall in love with Cebu. so pasabton ka na mo how that whole dancing thing began, right?
Right.
Val, can you give us an idea how this whole Mardi Gras thing began? Why is the vibe of Santo Niño such? Why is it like this? Tell me about it.
Okay, actually, it started, I'm as early as 2 or 3 years old. My mom used to be the PE instructor of the USC dance troupe, and
and she's the dean of the PE department. And the part of the repertoire was Sinug, which is Fiesta Senor. So that's where I opened my eyes into this type of dance. And way back in the 80s, my mom was commissioned by Mayor Florentino Solon to do a research about the devotion of the Santo Niño, about trying to research about the dance. It so happened that my mom is so close with the Mabolo group, which is the traditional sinulog of Nang Titang, the sinulog keeper of the sinulog dance. So that's where she researched the dance step, the beat, and everything. Because my mom used to give these little children of Mabolo costumes every year for their devotion, for their dance offering. So the rest and everything, so the tandem of my mom and Titang Jola, the keeper of the Sinulog dance, evolved, and later on, during the 80s, my mom launched it with Florentino Solon and started the first Sinulog Grand Parade. So it was way back 40 years, I think 40 years,
Around 40 years
1980s.
ago now. Okay.
But before it was labeled as Sinulog, it was Sinug, which means a river of the flow of the river. The one
Remember the flow of water, yeah.
Sinug, no? It's one step forward, two steps backward. The flow of the river. So it evolved from a very simple, actually it has pagan past. When King and Queen Juana were baptized, it was a gift from the Magellan, the image of the Santo Niño.
Right.
And when he gave it to Queen Juana embraced it and loved Santo Niño so much that she danced with it. And later on discarded the rest of the idols that she had.
Yeah, right.
So she embraced Christianity and the faith through the Santo Niño.
That's right. And celebrated through dance, right?
Through dance,
Yeah.
yes.
So I think it's important that people look into the history of
Right.
Sinulog and dance, because
Dance.
I don't know if it's like for other countries, if you noticed, when it comes to professing your faith and when it comes to devotion, like the stereotype is you have to be solemn, right? Like it's not really about loud celebration. It's not about expressing yourself through movement, through music. But Sinulog is a whole different thing. It's a different thing, right? From the very history of it, si Reina Juana, no, who received the Santo Niño.
Humamay.
Humamay,
Her native name was Humamay, and later on the
When she was baptized.
Christian name was Queen Juana.
Queen
after
Juana.
the Queen of Spain.
Okay. So when she received the Santo Niño, she was
She
imbued
danced.
with a certain different kind of joy and happiness, no? And how important is that for you, sir? And I'll ask Rocco as well after, that you express your faith through music in a way that it controls you to move, or it makes you want to, come out of your shell and celebrate, not just be solemn.
No, it's an expression of one's soul.
Soul.
So
I see.
it's like you express it through music. You express it through the movements of your body. Instead of trying to utter words of prayers.
Right.
It's another, like King David, when he was victorious, he has to dance all the way to the temple, even half naked. Can you imagine that incident? It's in the Bible.
Yeah,
So it's an expression for me. Aside from the mass, it's one form of prayer that is very, for me, as an artist, that really considers us our deeper devotion to our supreme being.
Oh, that's nice. Through that kind of art, through those kind of movements. And I'm so glad that your mother started that, sir, because now that's one of the things that people look forward to every single sinulog, ang sayaw,
Amazing.
no? In fact, mag-competition man ganin na sila for that. And Rocco here will be able to experience that 5 days from now. Makakita na siya sa mga performances,
That's a
no?
very nice experience for the first time here in Cebu.
It's very special to me, po. Yeah.
As a first-time Sinulog watcher, if you will, I don't know. What are the tips? How should Rocco Steady watch the Sinulog? Unsa man imong mga
Where should he go? Unsa iya ang
Tips.
pangitaon?
What I suggest and I recommend to you is that Sinulog is on Sunday.
Okay.
But before Sunday is Saturday, which is the fluvial procession,
Okay.
which is more on the religious and the spiritual side,
Right.
which is being officiated by the Basilica del Santo Niño. There's a fluvial procession. When the Santo Niño arrives at the port, there will be contingents that will be dancing from the port area towards the Basilica. And there will be a reenactment of the first Mass and the first baptism. And after that, there will be dance offering, which is the traditional sinulog. So there will be only 4 or 5 privileged contingents that can dance in front of the Basilica. So this is, for me, before going into the grand parade, to give you more deeper meaning to the celebration, I advise that you go and see the fluvial first.
fluvial parade.
Yes,
Right,
it
right.
goes
Alright.
on Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. Thank you so much for the recommendation, sir. So we've got the faith side, and then later on, you'll be able to see the bigger celebrations on the
Yes.
streets sa parade on Sunday na natin.
Sunday.
Okay. So fluvial parade and the celebration on Sunday. That's great. How about you, Rock? What do you think about that? So I asked her earlier, no, of like
Right.
how it's an expression of your faith, and how, on contrary to other cultures, when you celebrate your faith, it's kind of like a solemn thing. Kind of mangaji ra ka, you pray on your own in silence. But sinulog is totally different. What
Right,
do you think
right.
about that?
I just think that the human being and the human experience is different for different people, and I agree with him. You know, I agree that, you know, it is the expression of the soul, because I feel like, for me, as an artist, as my human experience, I feel like I want to express when I'm feeling happy, or if I'm feeling sad. I want to surrender that emotion to God. I want to involve Him and express it, because I can't contain myself. I really have to. And I feel like the more you express yourself, the more you practice it. In my own personal experience, the more you become in tune with that expression, and more comfortable you become with it. And dance is an amazing form of expression. You know, music is an amazing form of expression. And this making that song was a very like special thing for me, to be able to express my kanang pasalamat ba. And I really hope that I represented in a manner that was respectful and accurate in some sort of way as an artist, because I'm always trying to be as mindful as possible towards the respect of those that have paved the way. You know, I'm not just making the Sinulog song to capitalize on, Sinulog.
Kay sinulog man ang timing.
Like, it's just, I'm not like, oh, mag-imo na lang kog team song. Kaya, for me, it was really, I was sitting in my car and I was really inspired to make it. And I really gitoon yun ako ang history. That's why I said earlier, Sinulog means flow of the river, because ang sinog ba. And then ako man nagibasa, and I really thought about it. Like, I prayed about it, I thought about it, and then I allowed my soul to express itself.
Okay.
And I produced the
That's
beat
right.
and all that.
That's
Yeah.
right. So it's important also know that our art reflects not only who we are, but what we believe in. And sometimes there are things that you can talk about in your music that you've never really experienced, like the festival of Sinulog in person. No?
Right.
Pero ang faith man good, that's something that a lot of people can relate to. So murag you channeled it through that na lang, through the devotion and through the faith.
Yeah, we have different expressions of
Exactly.
anything, not
Everything,
not necessarily just of faith, but of anything, right? And expressing your faith through dance is also a way of expressing
Right.
And
that-
glorifying
glorifying,
him too.
yeah.
Right.
So, but the dance part you mentioned earlier, Val. You mentioned that you had the first ever in Cebu
Amazing.
dance studio. You dated it back to 1947, right?
Wow.
Tell me about the first ever. Hear this, Rocco. The first ever dance studio in Cebu.
It's amazing.
Actually, the first dance studio in Cebu started in Karkar City.
Okay.
During the war, my mom evacuated to Manila for 3-4 years during the war, and later she studied ballet from a French or a Russian
Instructor.
based in Manila, who was in Manila. And after going back when everything was safe, then she came back to Cebu with her parents, and came back to their hometown, Karkar, and established the first studio by making her neighbors, her cousins, as her first students. And later on, she involved herself in the native dances and cultural. So that's why the San Diego is much identified with cultural dances, especially from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
Yeah, and I think it's nice now how your mom also started that platform for a lot of people. I'm sure at that time, kung sayaw-sayaw ka, ganahan ka sa imong balay ra, you don't really learn it from anyone.
But it's very
There's no-
it's very interesting, right? Like after the war.
Like, where do we go?
So what was the mentality? Right? I'm curious. Like you dusted yourselves off from all that rubble, and then you started to dance. How did dance come into the picture? Nga naman nagikan sa gubat ni sayaw day. Like what was that? Tell me about that.
No, actually, my mom was explaining that she was really inclined to the arts of dance, and she just wanted to share it to the neighbors, which are her cousins, and she was even having a hard time during that time because the nuns and the schools were so conservative about the tights and leotards, the one wearing
Okay, the
ballet
outfits that they wear?
outfits.
Okay.
So
They didn't allow.
You don't allow. So can you imagine way back 1947
More
for them
conservative,
for that it's too indecent. So later on, actually, she started in ballet, platform in ballet, and later on used ballet as a medium for the folk dances.
Okay, so ballet and then Filipino traditional dances, and then later on, it became a hub or a platform for people to learn the proper sinulog dance,
Yes.
no? How to profess your faith and
faith.
glorify God through the sinulog
awesome.
dance.
Because if you think about it, Rocco and Justine, the sinulog as we know it now, the dance component of it, at least the physical expression of the devotion, the worship, and as well as the spectacle that is the Mardi Gras, the sinulog, right? All started with Val and his group, right? Because nakinumdo mga atong una Val, pagsugod ato ni Florentino Solon back in 1980, di ba? Mura kamo may nagtudlo ato. Tell me about that. Tell me about the first ever sinulog.
No, my mom being the chairman of all the PE instructors in Cebu, she taught all the PE teachers the basic step.
Yeah.
And she recorded the basic beat from Titang Jola, the old lady, the drummer, the beat and everything. I still remember I saw how old I was. She would record it with the cassette tape and everything, reproduce it, tagsa and everything, give it to the different schools. So we never could imagine way back 40 years ago that it really evolved into a complex devotion, which is very popular not just here in the Philippines but worldwide.
Wow.
So how do you feel about where we are now? You were there. You were able to witness and
Right.
experience the first ever sinulog. Your mom taught the PE instructors. I was one of those students that the PE instructors taught because I was part of one of the first few sinulogs from because I came from Colegio del Santo Niño, right? So we had a contingent from my school as well. So how do you feel about where it has? Where it is now, from where it was back in 1980
Yeah.
to where we are now in 2025. How do you feel about the Sinulog?
It's soared so high that what I'm afraid of is that it would lose its real essence of the offering. Too much commercialism, too much pageantry. But
Pageantry
the
bitaw.
pageantry and everything, because that happened to us way back in 2001.
Okay.
2 days before the festival,
Yeah.
our house got burned and burned all the costumes we prepared. And every year, Cebuanos look forward. What will be the San Diegos be wearing? What are they going to do? What will be their theme, choreography? So they are so much involved in what. But they forget that we have also our intentions, our
Right.
petitions we carry.
That's
We
more
have
important.
numerous cures of cancers and everything. Every step we make, every sweat that we have is being offered to the petitions that people try to ask for help. So what happened? Everything was gone in just an hour.
Grabe.
So what really surprised the Cebuano community that we showed up in the fluvial procession wearing white t-shirt and denims. And during the grand parade, we also showed up, but it was very hard for us. people were crying, and can you just imagine holding your tears at
Yeah.
the same time you're
Trying to
dancing?
dance, yeah.
Right.
But it was once in a lifetime experience, telling us that it's when you die, you don't bring everything with you.
Yeah.
Those are
Material things and
right.
everything. It's just like it has to happen. It was for me an eye opener
Yeah.
that what really counts most is your sincere intentions of
Right.
your offering, not
Yeah.
the silver linings and everything, the
Right.
pageantry and everything. But that was quite an experience that nobody have experienced except our group.
Yeah.
So from
exactly.
1980 until 2001, katong mga costumes na inyong gisulob sa San Diego Dancers, mo to daw na sunog sa karkar.
No, not Karkar, in our residency in Capitol.
Like in Capitol, so
yes,
sunog jud
yes.
tanan.
Sunog jud tanan.
So where did
Oh,
you
my.
pick up from 2001? Kaya nga sunog namang tanan ng mga costumes sa sinulog from 1980 to 2001. In 2001, do we have the new collection from 2001 to 2024? Tell me about where you picked up, where you started from. I'm sure you started from the ashes, right? So tell me about that.
It's not just the costumes. I used to have a collection of Santo Niños, like 100
My.
ivories and everything. Because since I was like 3 or 4 years old, I used to collect the Santo Niño. That's where I started my love and devotion. My ninongs and ninangs during Christmas usually give me not toys but images of the Santo Niño. So it's quite a sad part for in my life. But I said, let go and release everything and
Right, surrender
everything
ka
to
na.
the Lord.
And I think that's represented sa wave in itself. No, the wave comes forward and it also takes a step back. So it gives and it takes.
Yes,
No, that's a
yes.
representation
Yes.
of Sinulog. And how timely, no, that it always starts at the beginning of the year to give us that fruitful reminder of how there's so many things we're distracted with in life, but then the beyond it all or underneath it all what we're left with would be our faith that we should hold on to tightly, right? That's beautiful.
In case you're wondering what you're listening to, mga kaigalan, you're listening to Top of the Morning with me, Jiggy Juice.
And Justine Arvios.
Ang atong programa karon is really iconic if you want to call it that.
Iconic yun.
We have a first time experiencer of the Sinulog. He will experience this one for the first time this Sunday. I'm talking about rap and hip hop artist Rocco Steady live in the studios of 105, and right in front of him is Val San Diego, where all of it began. Right,
It's beautiful.
This is very I think poetic in a sense,
Yes.
right? Because I think si kanimangod si Rocco Steady Val. He's been observing Sinulog from afar for such a long time. I don't know why it took him such a long time to finally come down here and experience Cebu. For you to be able to give him those tips on what to do, what to look for in the Sinulog is, I'm sure, beautiful for you, right, Rocco?
Yeah, I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
Salamat kayo nga i-organize ninyo mo.
Okay.
It's a beautiful.
Santo Niño is the Batu Balani. So you are being magnetized by the Santo Niño to come back to Cebu
Yes.
and share your talent to him.
Yes.
Yeah. Offering, I think that's really important. Said no, as artists, both of Sir Val and Rocco, dance and music, they're part of their lives. So it's important to remind ourselves that these gifts are given from God, bitaw. And so when He calls us back, He doesn't just call us for purposes of to use our voices, to use our skills and talents, but our skills rather. But He also calls us back to use our talents, the artsy side of ourselves, to profess His name and to give good vibes and to remind people of things that they need to remember, right? So we're really happy that that you're here with us today, sir, to remind us of that. Kay murag usahay, I'm guilty of that bitaw nga. When I look at Sinulog, ang ma-remember dayon nako the Mardi Gras, the celebration, the beats, the music, but I forget about what's the deeper meaning of it? No, what does it mean to actually celebrate Sinulog? Even when you're not out, even when you don't have the costumes, when you don't have the celebration and all the glitz and glamour, what does it truly mean to devote yourself to Senior Santo Niño?
Right.
So we're glad that this is a very how do you say it, Chigi? Monumental episode.
Right.
Do you have any questions? Because I think there are probably things that I don't know what you're curious about. Now you may want to ask Val, because
Yes.
Val San Diego here, he doesn't just show up for any interview, right? This is a rare occasion today here at TMC.
So, yeah, I definitely do. I love your questions that you've asked, by the way. My first question is, how can the Kababayan, how can the organizers, the community continue the legacy of what your mother and your family have started and devoted to, in order for us to be able to contribute our part to continue sharing that history? Because I think it's very important for that to continue in order for us to preserve that devotion. What are some ways that you would recommend?
Actually, to share with you, my daughter is based in Orlando. She's starting the Sinulog there.
Okay.
My 3 daughters are there. And what amazed me is that there's always a way for God to give you somebody as an instrument to promote His love and love and everything for us. So I'm so happy and that I'm so blessed that my daughters are helping us promote. My mother used to go to Ireland, to Canada, and teach her former students in Sinulog. So it's now my daughters doing this.
Awesome.
So it's quite an amazing cycle of life. I know. And that's why, as a hermano and my wife as hermana of last year's Fiesta Senior, we have pledged to the friars of the community of the Agustinians to promote the devotion. When promoting the devotion comes the dance offering, which is the Sinulog. So the primary purpose here is the promotion to the devotion of the Holy Child Jesus.
Right, and thank you for that. That's amazing that your daughters are continuing the legacy. It's I definitely love how family lineage it's handed down and the way that things have impacted the next generation. It's probably amazing to witness as somebody that sees the children continue it on. It's kind of like a reflection of seeing your mother, probably. I've never really, I haven't had the opportunity to experience that yet, but it must be amazing to feel. My second question is, pwede ko makakuyog nimo sa Sinulog?
Yes, I can. If you want, since I got sick, we participate only the fluvial. We stopped participating before the pandemic. In 2020, I was the artistic director of the Sinulog Festival in 2020, which is the 40th anniversary. So if you want, I can give you IDs for the fluvial. So you can go in and out of the basilica. I can ask from, get contact with you. And so you will have the chance, since it's your first time, so you have the chance to witness the religious side of the festival.
Right, that's right. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, he's really excited about that.
I really am.
Lahi naman good no when you're only at the Mardi Gras, but you didn't really get to experience the church side of it, the religious side.
So asking how many are you, so I can ask the friars to have extra IDs.
For the passes. Thank you, Sir Val.
Salamat, Sir Val.
We've been talking about the dance, the Sinulog Mardi Gras, theoretically, right? In theory, this is what it is, this is what it is. But we never actually understood exactly what is the Sinulog dance step. What's the correct way of dancing the Sinulog? You don't have to dance, of course, obviously, but maybe you can describe it, especially to Rocco Steady. So maybe he can incorporate it in his music videos, because that's what he's doing today. He's actually shooting a music video here at Tops. So maybe you can explain to him what is the actual Sinulog dance step.
Actually, it's very simple. Just one step forward, then 2 steps backward. This is the first basic step we thought when Pope Francis was here in Manila. We were so blessed that me and my wife, in front of 5 million people, before the Pope arrived for the final Mass, we were given the chance to instruct all those who attended the Mass, bringing the Santo Niños, the basic step, which is 1 step forward and 2 steps backward, raising your arms up and down, up and down. So it's so basic that you can go to the right, to the left. But what counts most is when you do it, you shout, "Viva Pit Señor!"
Viva Pit Señor.
Viva!
So in summary, one step
Forward.
One step
steps
forward,
back.
2 steps
lift your
backward.
hands up.
1, 2, and 3, 4.
and then when do you shout the Viva Pete Senor?
You shout it every time you end up with the 8 count. 1, 2, Pete Senor Kang. You try to shout also who's going to have your petition. You say Pete Senor sa
Blank.
blank kini.
Kini.
Pete Senor kang tatay kini. Pete Senor kang nanay kini. Pete Senor.
So,
And you can mention the name of somebody asking
the
for
specific
yes,
intention.
intention for
Okay.
help.
Beautiful, yeah.
for yes,
that's nice.
So how did that begin? That whole petition thing, like. Did you incorporate that in the dance, or is that what you found out when you studied
When you did
the people in
research.
Mabolo?
Yeah.
Actually, the rest is history, but it's nice for this part to give a testimony. My father had a very rare brain disease way back in the 70s. In fact, he was the first one to be diagnosed that was successful, treated, and was alive. No, so my mom was asking, since she was the one giving to these kids the costume, she was asking for the intercession of the small innocent children, like ages 4, 6 years old, 7, dancing sinug, to pray for my dad. Pete Senor kang piling kini. And it's a testimony that my dad was alive and healthy back. In fact, he had been in the hospital for 4 months after that brain operation, and he survived and everything. And the rest was God's, gift to the family.
Amazing.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So that's how it all began.
Yeah.
So nakibaw na, I never knew
the
this story until
origins,
today. This
yeah,
is
wow.
this is blowing my mind.
Yeah, blowing my mind too.
What was interesting, because during the time 1970s, the small little kids danced the sinulog in front of the carroza, facing the Santo Niño, dancing backward.
Dancing backward. Okay.
So they'll be facing the carroza, the image facing backward, dancing backward. So
Okay.
it was the time that the Colon Street, the Santo Niño, the original, they're still using the original for the procession, would just turn around Colon Street, Mabini Street, back to the Basilica.
Back to the
So yes, it was then very small crowd. It was not
Not
Cebu
like how
was-
it is now,
no,
grabe.
Yes, grabe, the traffic and everything.
Yes, yes. And how do you feel about that, sir? No, from those small, imagine it started from like a humble beginning. Nga, it was your family members who conceptualized that. Nga, one
amazing.
step forward, 2 steps back, and then they were able to disseminate that, teach that in schools, and it's something that every Cebuano kid learns, or every kid in school learns. And then now people from all over the world, like your children or other kababayans outside of the Philippines, are gonna be learning that, and hopefully Rocco studies. Mga kababayans in Houston will be able to know about that also. How do you
Yes.
feel about that, sir? Nga worldwide na ang kaninga dance step, no? Kaninga halad kang Santo Niño.
No, actually, you're trying to promote the original one. Never alter it.
Yes,
Back
yes,
to
yes.
basic and everything. It's so that's why, as a devotee, as an artist, it's our responsibility to safeguard it. That the future generation will able to see the original thing as it is.
You know, kana bitaw magsayo-sayaw sa Santo Niño bitaw, sa Magellan's Cross, even sa near the Basilica. Nga kana bitaw mudagkot ka, di ba? Mura kag na kay offering. I always thought that the dance came from that inspiration. Tell me about that, sir. Tell me about the relation between the Mardi Gras dance as we know it now as the Sinulog, and the dance that katong mga kandilero, katong mga mamligi o kandila, katong mudagkot ka. Naman sa sila sayo, di ba? Naman po na sila halad, di ba? Unsa may relation na, sir? Is that inspired by you, or did they get inspiration from the dance that you guys created?
No. Actually, we were the one who promoted the dance step.
Okay.
Actually, the dance has been there for centuries already.
Okay.
So it's just like the movements was not so expressed in such a manner that it was not properly promoted as it is, no, as the basic. But the dance step of the candle vendors and the dancers of the Mabolo group are quite similar.
Okay.
The footsteps, the footwork is familiar, and from the same basic footwork. It's the same.
So for context, no, for those who might not know about this and kanang dili kaayo, if we have listeners from especially mga kababayan in Houston that who don't know about those things, sa Cebu we have mananggot or kanang we have these people that you can ask their help to
pray for
you for your special intentions, and so they light up candles for you. Correct, sir? No.
Yes.
They're basically candle vendors, and so when they pray for you, they'll say your intentions, and at the same time they
dance.
dance.
Yeah.
And I would like to know why do they dance? Because wala pa man ko katry ana to ask kanang managot. I see them around, pero why do they dance?
That's the way they express their trying to ask. Aside, while they're dancing, they're also praying.
Okay.
They're praying. They have the alabasyon and everything. Because it all started, there was a legend that Baladhay, he was sick and he was in the bed.
Okay.
When he saw the Santo Niño, he danced and was cured.
Okay.
That's why they said was the first sinug. Way back in the 1500.
Okay. So he was healed because he was compelled to dance compelled to move.
Oh, when
no?
he saw the little boy, the Santo Niño.
And so that's why karon kaning muhalad kaning candle vendors, when you ask for their help to pray for you, they dance as well as they're saying the prayer.
Yes.
Okay. So that's one of the unique things about Cebu, no, that the way that we profess our faith is quite different. I don't know where other places in the world they do that kanang somebody dances when they pray, right? That people when they say their offerings, they do it while they dance. So that's something I'm very proud of, sad, no?
In case you're wondering, sa inyong gipamina mga kaigalan, this is an iconic monumental day here for us at Tops Media Center.
Yeah.
This is Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
My name is Justine Arvias.
And we have no less than Val San Diego live at 105.1 TMC together with international artist who is here in Cebu for the first time to witness the Sinulog, Rocco Steady.
Woo! Thank you so much for joining us.
Karon is the dance component of the Sinulog, right? I'm curious, you mentioned earlier nga kaning dance, kaning Sinulog celebration is a combination of the pagan and the Christian, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that. Can you expound on that? Kaning the dance part. Because usually or normally, kanang like the Justin mentioned, kanang sayo-sayo dili man na siya noticeable in the Christian way of devotion, right?
Murag solemn man atong professional
tell
faith.
me about that and how interesting it is that we are able to continue this whole collaboration, if you will, of the two.
Actually, it's how you try to eternalize everything from deep within, especially what I have known and experienced before, that in some churches they don't want the sinulog to be danced in the altar, but now everybody is open-minded, most especially that you're decent enough, the costumes you're wearing are modest and everything, and you don't interrupt the liturgical services of the Mass. So I don't think so that it's against our faith to express ourselves and collaborate it with the rites of the Mass.
You know what? Rocco Steady here has 50 songs he's about to unleash, to release into the wild, like I always love to say. But he bago lang yun, gipatukan na tong iyang kanta about the Sinulog. I don't know if you heard it. He had a song called Sinulog, right? As his offering to Santo Niño and all of that stuff. Daghan na kayong mga kanta nga gihimo about the Sinulog, right? Katong nakoy nadunggan nga kanta nga which was made in 1980, katong the original Sinulog song. Do you remember what the original Sinulog song was? And did you have a part of that song?
I don't remember. I was still not.
I'll play it right now.
based on the basic beat of the Sinulog. Between is still there. It's basic one. Try to. That means to say that it's one of the most popular Sinulog jingle way back in the 80s. Yes.
So ikaw Rocco Steady, you have been making music for a long time. Now you're back at it again after 25 years, right? Of making music after being a lawyer in Houston, after all of that stuff. Now you're back back to making music again. I know that you did not live in the Philippines, in Cebu, for a long time, right? You only lived here until you were 8, right? And then you migrated to the United States. But you have been keenly observing what is happening here. Nakaibaw pagalikan nila ni Salbakuta, nila ni Andrew E., nila ni Francis Magolono. You're even acutely aware of the Sinulog here in Cebu, although wala ka diri, diba? So, but I'm curious ba, in your music making, how did it influence your music making, your past, your history with the Philippines, with Cebu in particular?
Wala, Cebuano jud ko. Atlog kada buntag, and kanang Bisaya jud ko ba kanang mukaon from the food to the culture of family. I enjoy having a lot of people in my home. I enjoy
lechon.
Just everything, and that's really like my heart. Like akong asawa is Bombay, pero I looked for characteristics of a Bisaya in her before I decided to marry her. But when I wasn't Bisaya, and so like I love the Cebuano culture, and it really left a mark in my life. And so whether or not I'm over there or over here, when I come home, I'm always home, and I try to bring that piece of home wherever I go, in my office, in my bedroom, in my house. Not nice Santo Niño sa tubangan. But like, yeah, I try my best to just like bring it with me. So the way that being a Cebuano impacted my music, I would say, is that I have a heart to share the values that I love about being Cebuano. Like I'm not afraid to talk about things that are special to me about being Cebuano. Like, for example, family or Santo Niño. And dili ko mauwa ang Binisaya atubang sa mga Amerikano. I'll rap in Bisaya in front of mga Amerikano. I'll let them know nga Bisaya ko. And I'm not afraid to let, because it's very specific, Bisaya. I could say I'm Filipino.
Yeah.
But moingon jud ko, Bisaya ko. Bisaya jud ko. Oh. I'm very proud of being Bisaya, and it's because it gave so much to me. And the reason I went back to music is because music gave so much to me. I felt like I abandoned it, and mura gibiyaan ako ang kanang tao nga ning suporta nako for all these years, and then mura na depressed ko ba, like,
because you got busy.
I felt like I abandoned it. Like, I'm not a loyal person. I left hip hop. I left music. I left the expression that has once supported me in my life. And parehas na sa Cebuano, og dili ko mo represent sa Cebuano, mura gibiyaan ako ba nga
who you are,
ang unsang gihatag sa ako ang palipay sa ako, and made me who I am today, as a man I am today. So Cebuano, mabuhay da.
Yeah, mabuhay. Viva mga Cebuano. Viva Pitsenyor.
Viva.
You know what, Val? I have to ask you this question. How do you feel about the Sinulog back home, back in its original venue at the Cebu City Sports Center? Because kaning issue, medyo controversial din siya, because it was done in another venue for 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. And now it's back home at the Cebu City Sports Center. How do you feel about that personally?
Actually, no comment, but I have to comment.
No comment, but I'll comment na lang.
No. So, aside any
that.
colors of everything, no. As a devotee, the feast is in the city.
Okay.
So it should be the nearest to the church, to the streets of Cebu, no. So it started here. Hopefully, it should also end it here. So in the city, so there's a lot of good things and bad things about the venue and everything. But what counts most is that
Proximity.
the celebration has to be perfect and not lost its essence of the love and offering.
No, Jay.
Yeah, bahalag asa ibutang, di ba? Ang uban bitorong mga misa na naman sa mall. Dili naman sa simbahan. But it's up to you. If you concentrate yourself, like even if it's in the mall, but you concentrate during the rites of the church, the mass. It depends. It's not the venue and everything. It's how you are situated.
So mas maayo gid kung mas duol sa simbahan. Is that what you're trying to say?
Mas doon sa simbahan, and people also in the streets. You have so many trees and everything. There is a city, and the food is more accessible. The comfort areas and the restrooms and everything, you know. So actually, the planning stage should be considered also in long term, and it should not be planned as August, September. It should be planned right after Sinulog. You plan things out right after.
For the next year, right?
Yes.
Speaking of planning, speaking of long-term existence, but you know, artists like Rocco Steady, he has his own R&B and hip hop interpretation of his culture, his Cebuano-ness, diba? And I'm sure after this conversation, he'll be able to incorporate whatever he's learned from Val San
for
Diego
sure.
in his music as well. Maybe not in his music right now because he's already released the 50 songs, maybe after that. But I'm sure that he'll be able to input the dance component side of it. But my question here, Val, is this. Because you mentioned planning and long-term, right? Sinulog has grown exponentially since it started back in 1980. Naaman ta ato, nakakita man ko ato, 40 pang gamaya, wato kaabot og na po ka contingent siguro, di ba? O mga eskwelahan ra og mga barangay, di ba? Gipasayaw-sayaw, gipugos in a way. Pero karon, murag daghan na kayo, naglinya pa sila para to join, right? So my question here is, Val, how do you see the future? Like, unsa may imong pananaw? What will the Sinulog celebration look like in 10, 20, 30 years into the future? Can you try to visualize it for us?
Everything will be advanced, most especially when it comes to choreography. Kay before man good, we usually have our own choreography out from our own mind. Now you get from YouTube to the internet inspiration and everything, the costuming, you can just search it in internet, not like before. But what counts most is that you have to, as an artist, it is better for us to really think of ourselves as the original choreography, not to copy one's choreography, you know? So everything would be stereotyped. So even now you will serve. So you'll see on Sunday that most of them have the same costumes, the same patterns of choreography, but that's how they express their faith. We cannot question it.
Right.
So
in the future,
in the future, it's how Cebu City is so small, but try to organize the festival in such a manner that it can accommodate as much pilgrims, we call it, to come to Cebu. So being a safe place, and rest assured that it will not be their first time to come here, but they'll be coming back and forth every year.
Yeah.
So, you know, because here at 105.1 TFC, we're always in search for the original, right?
Yeah.
The original
The origin
Cebuano
of
sound.
something.
Lumad.
Lumad.
Unsa man ginang Cebuano, unsa man ginang Cebuano, unsa man pasabot ng Cebu sound, right? We're always in search of that because sometimes we feel like we're too colonial. Our music is too Western and all of that stuff. Right? So akong mangutana nimo diri siguro Val is, would you say that the Sinulog beat, the Sinulog dance, the Sinulog vibe, to use a more current word, atong vibe karon sa Sinulog, is that as Cebuano as you can get?
Bitaw.
Which one?
The Sinulog vibe, the beat.
Yes. The beat should be maintained as is, which is, you know, and the chanting "Viva Pitsenyor" is always be there for good and for the rest of the years to come. So always remember the slogans and everything. Cebu ni Bay and Fiesta. So I was trying to tell everybody it's why not call it Fiesta Senior sa Sugbo and Sinulog underneath it. So it's the Fiesta of Cebu. It's being gone. So hopefully in the near future, younger generation or more talented and be guided properly with using their talent for future generation. They will be well guided in such manner.
It's important to keep the classics intact.
Yes,
No?
exactly.
Like when you're making new art as an artist, no, as a dancer, choreographer, or as a rapper, you always have to like have a sense of like respect for what like how it was before anyone else tried to remix it and change it up. So even when you're making new art, it has to like somehow pay respect.
Exactly.
Respect to that. What do you think about that?
I agree.
When making new songs,
Yeah.
you took inspiration man from the original beat,
Right.
and when making music. So what do you think about that? And for other future artists, no?
Right. I completely agree with you. Importante kaya na kay we stand on the shoulders of greatness. Like people have paved the way before us, and we would not have the opportunity to do what we do without that historical essence and people that have pioneered specific things. And like for me as an artist, I'm just going to share with the audience right now. I tried my absolute best from afar to create something based on my inspiration of what resources I had, such as a video or such as just researching as much as I can. But to be sitting in front of somebody that is a pioneer is an absolute joy for me to be able to reconsider certain things when I make future music and to be able to make it more accurate. Because at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to do. I just didn't have the specific opportunity, which is why grateful kay ko karon kay naka live in the flesh in front of me is somebody who has lived, breathed, contributed and created for Sinulog. And so based out of that, it's like my mind is starting to go as an artist. And when saan man ako, like if maghimo kog music video, kinahanglan jud ka mo input kay ako maghuna-huna ka di man ko pioneer. So ikaw mo input sa ako. So I want to properly represent you and the history. I want to be able to convey that message and walk in that specific example of knowing that there is a history and there is a specific way to dance, specific sayings like Viva Pit Senor and Sigibay, the things you were mentioning. These are things that people need to know about, and I would love to feature that in the music video. That would make the music video even that would make
more
me so
meaningful.
happy. Yeah, like imbes nga ako ang mga effects lang ako nga pirmi makita diha. It's not about me, right? It's about the essence, so people can see the devotion. And if there's a way for me to be able to learn your input on that, it would mean the world to me to be able to properly represent that, because dili maikog ko mo-release ko music video nga dili tarong.
Yeah, it's really true. That's why if you have the chance, I'd like you to invite you. We have practices every night. You are welcome to our studio while everybody's busy making the costumes and everything. So you get the feel of the festival, not just
That's awesome.
Not just the finished product on Sunday, but behind the scenes, the practices, the making of the costumes and everything.
It's also done in your place.
It's done in Capital area. If you have time, so you can just drop by.
I will make time.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, I'll make time.
I'll introduce you to the dancers. Maybe if given the chance, we can use your Sinulog to do some choreography.
That would be great.
Awesome.
That would
Thank you, Sir
exactly.
You know what? Like you said, Rocco Steady, we feel so lucky to have Val
Yeah.
San Diego.
Yeah,
we
for
also
real.
feel lucky to have you here.
Yeah.
You know, works of art like paintings or songs or albums or even books are sort of like summaries of your life, right? It is a kind of a sneak peek at who you were, who you once were, who you are now. And I'm curious, Val, aside from having this infinitely great opportunity to talk to you and know about the whole history of the Sinulog, is your story, is the Val San Diego, is a San Diego story somewhere out there in a book, in an artwork, in a video? Like, where can we know and have a summary of what we just talked about, because this is just too much for me to absorb. I need to go to sit back and maybe
To
perhaps
backtrack.
and backtrack and maybe review it.
Which side? Actually, I have so many interviews. There's a book by Grace Nuno Aves about the Babayan lands of the Philippines.
Okay.
And I'm one of the research persons there and everything.
So there's a book now from Grace Nuno, the artist,
Yes.
the singer. I mean,
Yes.
so she
yes.
has a book. What is it called?
The Babayan lands.
Babae Lands.
Yes.
Babae, as in girl.
That's
How do you
during the Spanish time, pre-colonial, when there were the Babaylans were the priestess.
Ah, okay.
So there are 10 Babaylans in the Philippines existing, and one of them was Titang Jola,
Okay.
because the healer.
Okay,
Because
okay.
we have attributed healing to the Santo Niño, the dance and everything. So actually, there's some interviews there, and you can get some documentations from there. And also from the Yap San Diego Ancestral House book, which is Chinese houses of Southeast Asia. Actually, I'd like to invite you to our ancestral house, which was built 1675 in Parian, the oldest, where the oldest street in the Philippines is, in Colon Street. We have this ancestral house. I'm the 11th generation.
I'd love to go. They were actually just talking about that to me yesterday. They were telling me to go.
To visit.
You remember?
So on Saturday, after the fluvial, our presentation in the Basilica, all the dancers will be dancing towards the ancestral house.
Okay.
And we'll have fiesta there, and you will witness our offering in front of the house. So it's quite an experience.
Awesome.
Wow,
I
insider
look forward
look.
to it, but yeah.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
But will there be an autobiographical or biographical book that will be published soon?
Yeah.
Because I think it has to be also
Bitaw.
from your perspective as well, because I think you have a beautiful perspective of the
Yeah.
I hope that they can pile up my interviews
Yeah,
and my
somehow.
documentations and everything. But I'm still young, no worries.
Exactly. How good, sir. And for those who probably would like to go back to this conversation, where can you watch that? Don't worry, guys. Here at Tops Media Center, top of the morning, we have a replay of our live YouTube stream. So just search Tops Media Center. This entire interview, we can go back to that, see, remember and check out what we've talked about in today. So
I asked you that question because nasunog ito ang ato ang mga dresses from
Lagi.
1980 to 2001. So I feel like I don't want anything to be missed, but so I want to record it in a book perhaps right now, so that if something like that happens again, at least it's
We have
there
record
somewhere,
of that.
kept forever in a book, right?
Exactly, that's true. That's why everything, all the clippings and everything, my wife's keeping it.
Okay.
And
okay.
we have plans of putting it in one of the memorabilia in our ancestral house because the house is protected. It's been declared by the National Museum as an important cultural property. So all throughout generation, the house is protected, and all what's inside should also be protected.
Okay, and your work of art is in your dance,
it's the
in
performance
your
itself.
costume, is in your performance, and I hope you'll be able to summarize it hopefully very soon in a book. There are books that you mentioned that we could buy from Grace Nuno. You mentioned Babae Lands, and what's the other one? The other book that you mentioned, the one that
Chinese houses of Southeast Asia.
So this is your house, the San Diego
Featured,
the
and the
house.
history of the families there.
Okay. But we should be able to compile something from your perspective, a unique Val San Diego perspective. So that's what we're looking forward to seeing very
Hopefully.
soon, Val. And Rocco Steady here also has a kind of compilation of his artwork, of his life, of who he once was and who he is now. In fact, the who he is now is all 50 songs, right? But I am sure there's something that we can look back to also. Rocco, you mentioned that you were an artist for 25 years. What was your body of work? What kind of songs did you have? What were the themes of your songs back then when you were an artist before you joined the rat race, the corporate world, if you will?
Yeah. So it's funny, it makes me like smile because my very first album was actually called Cebu's Finest.
Oh, really?
Cebu's Finest, wow.
Okay.
But that was my way of representing Cebu
Yeah.
because in that album I didn't talk about anything Cebu. I was really young. I was like maybe 13 years old.
Okay.
And so those topics were just topics that I heard in hip hop music. So
Okay.
I would emulate the style, emulate the topics, and it wasn't anything genuine that came from my personal experience, because at 13 years old, you don't really feel like you're that interesting.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So you're kind of navigating, you're trying to discover who you are, finding your voice, and I was just a fan that was creating.
So-
and I go ahead.
Yeah, it's good.
As
13
a-
years old. So how
yeah.
many? How about after 13?
So I made an album called.
Is there
Cebu's
something
Fine.
that what I'm pretty much asking is there something that we can look back at?
Yeah.
Before
Check out.
before we enjoy the
50 song
the
album.
50 song album. Maybe we want to look back at who Rocco
Right.
Steady Ones was, so we're better informed to consume the new version,
Right.
the new iteration.
So what's really interesting as an artist is the only people that have my music are the only people who have supported me.
Okay.
I never released it out to the public.
Okay.
I never put it
So,
on.
ano na siya, CDs.
Yeah,
basically.
they're physical CDs, and I never put anything on the internet.
Okay.
And so unless it was social media.
Okay.
And then right before I went to law school, I deleted all of my social media so I could focus and just declare my commitment towards my new profession, right? But before that, literally, I never put any.
Well, hard copy.
Yeah.
So now this is the chance
would
for
you
them.
would you
really.
say that you're starting with a clean slate?
Yeah,
Pretty much, right?
Pretty much a clean slate. Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like I'm a brand new artist.
Yeah, why not, right? Why not, right?
It really looks like bag-o mo na siya.
Oh, so
You know,
you're
tiguang
and
nagrap-rap.
symbolically, of course, you're starting where it all began, where you had the first experienced, I guess, from 1 to 8, right? I mean, that's your first experience of life, right? And kani siya, nataon siya sa Dallas, Texas, Val, pero nibalhin siya sa Cebu when he
before 1 year old. Yeah.
Before 1 year old. So he stayed here for 8 years in Cebu. So he sees back where it all began in Cebu.
It's nice, right? Yeah.
Maayo kay mong Bisaya.
Salamat. Ako gigi-practicean.
Practicean. Especially for the new music coming out, no? Kaya ang lyrics.
Kaning Val, I'm curious ba, because you'll be observing the Sinulog, obviously, right? You'll be there somewhere in the Cebu City Sports Center enjoying the Sinulog. Unsa man, what are the things that you see that kanang medyo dili ka ganahan? Unsa man, what irks you when you watch a performance?
Bitaw.
What is it nga murag di ka ganahan, Val? Personally lang.
In the competing contingents
Yes.
Yeah, and competing contingents.
those contingents that are not dressed modestly. Because this is a religious festival. That's a no-no for me.
So dili di ka magpa-sexy-sexy.
Delete.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel, why is that, sir? Do you feel like when they don't dress modestly, it loses the essence of
The essence
ano?
of it's the religiosity of the festival. In fact, the basilica is very strict in the dress code of going inside the
Even the
church.
sleeves. Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, no
yeah.
sleeveless, no
Shorts,
shorts and everything. So
open-toed footwear.
we have to go back to the basic.
How about the dance part of it? What irks you?
When they try to alter the basic, and they should put into consideration that the authentic side of the basic steps should be contained and not be altered, and no mixing of other festivals that would try to destroy the meaning of Sinulog.
Sinulog.
How about the music part? What don't you like when they what fill in the
For the
blanks?
contingent. Oh.
When it's so techno and everything, so it should be actually Sinulog started from the basic drum. So when it's being modernized and everything, but I think the Sinulog Foundation is very serious in this
in
rules
choosing.
and choosing
Yeah,
those.
the kind of music
you cannot
to
be you cannot win the musicality award if you lose everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So you pretty much you want everything to stay the same. You want the dance to be the same. You want the costumes to be modest. You want the music to be the same, right? So my question here, I guess, is where do the judges? I don't know if you're one of the judges. Are you one of the judges? No. But where will the art be? How can they show kind
Yeah,
of
a
uniqueness
variation.
based on the parameters that you have given. Dili ka ganahan nga ang music mulayo sa original song, right? Di ka ganahan nga ang
beat,
sayo, ang
dance.
beat mulayo sa original steps,
So
right?
where can they experiment?
Where can they express themselves nga medyo malahi sila sa uban?
Actually, the winning point in most contingent is the theme of their trying to, the concept, the ritual,
Storyline.
the storyline.
Okay.
Because everything is the same basic and everything, the formation and everything, but the essence of the offering, which is
Right.
the theme with the concept that conveys
How
to
do you
the
tell the story, basically?
basically with the intercession of the Santo Niño and everything that will give a lesson to the rest of the devotees.
So
And
the message,
the
basically.
message is
Okay.
one thing, that counts most, and that's the winning point.
Okay. So for all the contingents who might be listening, right now, that's the pro tip, okay? From Sir Val. Never try to lose the message. And that should shine through in every performance more than the costume, the music. You know, I think that's always where artists have a difficulty when they want to create something new or try to take inspiration from something old. You have to retain the original
Yes.
essence of what was once there. So that's a challenge. That's going to be a challenge for all the competitors for the dance
Pero
competition.
kasi si Rocco, you're influenced by artists like LL Cool J, like KRS-One, and all of that stuff. So, ikaw, do you have non-negotiables when you make your music, when you make your art? Val San Diego's non-negotiable is the original dance step, the original music, right? And the outfit,
message.
right? The modesty of the outfit. How about you? As an artist, Rocco, do you have a non-negotiable or non-negotiables that you cannot not do?
Well, yeah, I do. And, it just depends on the season of life that I'm in. But
Okay.
currently, in the season of life that I'm in, I refuse to promote violence.
Okay.
I refuse to talk about any kind of drug use or anything that kind of like would promote a life that can destroy your life in that sort of sense. I try to be mindful of that. And that's just personally on my own personal expression of things because I believe that I'm going to use my platform in a specific way.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as non-negotiables, it's really about the things that I represent, and I try my best to stay in line in regards to the authenticity of that. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no violence,
Right.
and it has to be authentic. It has to be really you, not
And
pretending.
this Sunday, of course, you'll be able to experience the life's work of Val San Diego again, right? The dance and all of that stuff.
Right.
You'll be able to see that.
I look forward to
in
it.
many forms,
Yeah.
right? So my question here for you, Rocco, is this: like you'll be unleashing the beast, the 50-song beast, very soon, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about it? I mean, it's your
Right.
life's work, right?
Right.
50 songs, 50 little things about who Rocco said he is, and maybe some other topics perhaps that you incorporated in the album. How do you feel about that? And when is a release date of this giant baby? I think this is an overweight baby, right? What? Long overdue, right?
Yeah.
More than 9 months in the tummy.
Sobra kakaon. Yeah, so like I said earlier, I don't necessarily follow any rules. That
Okay.
it's tentatively to be released when I arrive back.
Okay,
So
okay.
towards the end of February.
Okay.
And how I feel about it is I think it perfectly captures the essence of the last 2 months that I've experienced and really committed and dove into the creative process
Okay.
and really just for 2 months straight I really created, and I think
work on that,
I'm just
yeah.
at a different point in my life, and I think it properly reflects those 2 months. Now, sitting in front of legends like Val right now, I'm thinking about new things. I'm learning. I'm flowing with the river, and so
Sinulo,
yeah.
right?
So like I said, I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on my song and whether it properly represents the essence that you have, that you love, and if I properly respected that in its reflection because of the way that I created it. Gusto ko makarespeto ana. So. But at the time, I haven't met. So that's what's interesting about being an artist is we have a very flow type of experience. We learn different things, and I just think as an artist, it's really cool that we get to learn and we get to apply. This particular version of Sinulog is a reflection of who I was 2 months ago, and now that I'm in front of you today, and I'm learning about the history, and I'm learning about your wishes and your wants. I'm experiencing something different. So I might go back and remix it. I might go back and create
Okay,
something
that's cool.
completely different. But that's the coolest part about being able to be inspired by the actual experiences. That's why ni ari ko sa Cebu kay ang ako kibaw jud ko ang experience maka enrich jud sa akong kalagba. Oh.
You know, art can't help but express itself, right? Artists can't help themselves but express themselves. And also one of the things that I notice about artists, like I'm in a room full of artists. Justine Narvitz is an artist. She's a singer. Jocko Steady here is also a rapper. Of course, Val Sandiego is a dancer. My question here for you, I guess, Jocko, is you will want to share your album too to the world, right?
Yeah.
So if they want to know more about Rocco Steady, sorry. I'm thinking about somebody else. Rocco Steady. Where can they find you on the social media platforms? Because we live in a completely different world now. You can't just say, it's just in a CD, nobody will know about this.
Right.
So you'll have to express yourselves out there, not just to the Cebuanos, but to the world.
Rest of the world listening
So,
right now.
so you have a bigger platform now.
Right.
Rocco, tell me, where can they find you?
I made it real simple for everybody.
Okay.
So go on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Well, I haven't set up any Spotify yet because I'm gonna release it whenever it comes out. But all my social media is Filipino Rapper. So I own FilipinoRapper.com, so they can go to FilipinoRapper.com once the website's completed. All my social media from Instagram to YouTube, TikTok to Facebook, it's all Filipino
So
Rappers.
it's already up and running?
Yeah, but it's
social media.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Filipino
very
rapper,
Filipino
right?
rapper. Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious. Is this just about Rocco Steady, or will this also be about other Filipino rappers as well?
No, it's just gonna be me. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
So how about the collaboration part? You mentioned a few names before.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna collaborate with Val Sandiego here one of these days. But
Oh,
you
for
mentioned
sure.
Cookies.
I would love
you
that.
mentioned Dueza and Elamino. Did that come up?
Yeah. I met them the other night.
Tell me
yeah.
about that. And are they in your new album or not yet?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They're not. But I met them. I had the pleasure of meeting one of them the
Okay.
other night,
Okay.
and we're now in communication. We're gonna hit the studio next week.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll go ahead and have that opportunity to make another banger and be able to connect with the other artists. And the more that I connect with the community, malingaw naman ko.
Yeah.
And you know,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna go ahead and make more songs. And
Okay.
my goal is to collaborate as much as possible. Even
Okay.
collaborate with Justine.
Yeah.
So,
collaborate- yeah.
I'm curious. Will this be like another 25 years of music
Oh, no,
making,
I
or are you
No,
are you
no.
gonna go back to your office
After this?
one Monday
No.
next month and go back to the rat race?
No, everything is integrated.
Okay.
Like everything is transferable. So I don't. The way I show up here is the way I show up everywhere. You know,
Okay.
my energy in court is the same way that I am as an artist,
Okay.
and one washes the other. It fuels each other. The
Okay.
creativity is
Okay.
actually why we're so successful as
Okay.
lawyers. And,
Okay.
and it helps me with the way that I feel in everyday life. I become a better person as an artist because I'm a lawyer,
Okay.
and because I'm a lawyer, I'm a better artist.
Okay.
You know, there's no record label that'll dare try to take advantage of me because I'm gonna draft my own contracts, and you know, and I'm be able to understand.
Since we have a lawyer here, Val, right? I'd like to perhaps get some free advice from Rocco Steady.
The least I could do,
Attorney
yeah.
Steady here for Val here. Kato imo mga dance steps ba nga kaning 2 steps backwards, 2 steps forward, and the sinulog beat. Is there any way that we can
Intellectual property that like,
register that? Is there any way that maybe not you personally, Val, but maybe the city can own it or the Cebuanos can own it? How does that work? How do you do that?
Because that's not owned by one person.
Yeah, okay.
That's owned by the community, the Cebuanos. That's a Cebuano treasure.
So from a legal standpoint, right? The only way you can protect something is if it's specific in nature, and in order for you to avoid confusion in the marketplace. Now, like for example, the term sinulog, right? It represents a specific class of an industry, you know, whether it's a festival or T-shirts or that kind of thing. But for example, if I went and called myself Sinulog as a rapper, there's no confusion in the marketplace because I'm a rapper and there's a festival, Lahi man. Pero that's arguable too, depending on what lawyer they're working with. They can say Filipino man na siya kanta nga sinulog, ma-confuse ang marketplace, diba? Ingon na ba? So in order to protect something, it can't be so like general. So the 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Now if it was named something and it was like another person came along and was in the Sinulog field, and then they decided to claim that they were the original, then it can be confusion in the marketplace if it was profitable in nature. Now, I definitely hear where you're coming from, and it can be memorialized.
Yeah, that's what
It,
we're
it can be respected in exactly what you were saying earlier, which is a great idea, right? Writing a book or doing an audio diary. These things are the way that you memorialize. And I don't dili makakuha ang lain tao nga maglibog nga kinsa nagsugura na.
I don't know if this has anything to do with the question, but I just need to ask this question. You can't call tequila if it's not harvested from a certain place in Mexico, right?
I mean, agave.
Agave, yeah. But basta nailugar sa Mexico, wherever that is.
I'm not aware of that. Yeah.
But the law states that you can't call anything tequila unless it's from that area. So I'm curious about is there anything that we can draw from that rule that you can't call anything sinulog if it's not from Cebu or something like that?
Well, I mean, this is all, and I just have to preface this, everybody. This isn't legal advice. This is just
we're just having fun. We just want to show off the other side of Joko.
This is
Rocco
is my opinion. Okay, so first and foremost, you're talking about Sinulog, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would check on Sinulog because from my research, and I don't know how accurate it is as of today, the trademark has expired.
Okay.
And so because the trademark has expired, it risks, as far as somebody being able to take it.
Okay.
And so that needs to be addressed. So that's something that's important. For example, when I studied Sinulog, from what I've heard and from what I studied, once again, I have to fact check, but from what I've heard and what I studied, there's been a transference of people who have started it, I guess, and like there's different things and how it kind of evolved into a foundation and like there's person that left and a person that all that kind of thing, right?
It's very complicated, right? We don't want to go that rabbit hole.
Right. But you brought up trademarking.
Sorry, man. Sorry. Continue.
All I'm saying is in order to protect something, you just got to make sure you have the right legal team that's going to execute, or else there's going to be somebody else with a better legal team that's going to execute before you. Yeah.
That's a slippery slope right there.
You're more than welcome to hire me.
You know what? Si Rocco Steady, medyo bago-bago na siya ni-adopt sa social media, right? In fact, you'll have Filipino Rapper as your handle for all of your social media platforms. And a website is coming up, right?
Yes.
How about you, Val? I know you're very social media savvy. Tell me about where they can find Val San Diego or the San Diego Dance Troupe, the San Diego Dance Studio, and all of that, and how they can show their support to you and San Diego in general.
We have a FB page, San Diego Dance Company, and I have my personal FB account, Val San Diego.
Okay. How can they support you? How can they make sure that this thing goes on for as long as we can? Is there any way, any mechanism that they can support you? Maybe I don't know. In Rocco Steady's case, you download his music, right? You buy his album. How about you? Is there any way that we can show our support to Val San Diego and the San Diego Dance Company?
You can show your support, trying to follow what we have done and what we have started, and the choreographies and the concept and the theme that we have. That's it.
Okay. Did you hear that, guys? Please show your support to Rocco Steady at Filipino Rapper, right?
Yes.
On the social media platforms. Yes. And you're going to be hearing it here on 105.1 TMC, the album release very soon, right? We're going to play, here's what I'm going to do today. Before I let you go, Val and Rocco, I'm going to play that song, the Sinulog song, and let Val San Diego listen to it one more time, right?
Yes.
So that he'll give you his inputs and all of that stuff.
And I want honest input, boy. I don't want you to hold back, okay? Hindi ka ganahan, ingnan lang ko. And then if you have feedback, gusto ko
magkandungog. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my headphones around you. Is that okay, Val?
Yeah, sure.
going to play the music. And this will be the first time that Val San Diego will hear this Sinulog song. In fact, most of you guys, it will be the first time that you'll hear this. This is Rocco Steady and
Senor.
Sinulog. Listen.
Payong para sa uwan, lahi-lahi man ang panahon.
You just heard the music of Rocco Steady, just one of 50 songs. Yes, 50 songs. How do you feel about the song, Val?
Dili ko katuo nga nakahimo siya na. Considering that it's rap, but you can easily promote the devotion to the younger generation using that instrument of your, the genre of your music and everything. And what I like most is the beat. It still considers the original beat is still there. It's okay. And the word pasalamat. And it's not only for Cebuanos, but for all Filipinos. It's,
Yay!
We got, if this was like The Voice or some singing competition, you'd have like a good remark, right?
Yeah. I got a star. Salamat.
I think there is pasalamat to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's the one point that I also struck.
Because it's always not about just asking for favors, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's also about giving thanks.
right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to dance this Saturday
Oh my
because
Oh,
because
wow.
I'd like to thank. I had a stroke 2 years ago, but as I promised, till my last breath, I will dance for
Dance for
him.
Santo Niño.
Hey.
Where can we see?
You said Saturday.
Saturday in the Fluvial.
The Fluvial
At the
Parade,
Food Love Parade. Okay.
Wow,
We'll look forward to that, sir.
That's amazing.
We'll be looking for you. Which float are you going to be in?
No, I'll be at the port area with my wife, and
Okay.
we will welcome the Santo Niño.
It's
from
arrival.
Arrival. Then we will be dancing from the port area on the streets, going towards Fort San Pedro, then in the main street, then to the Basilica.
So, Kani,
Okay.
will this be your first dance since the stroke?
No, months before I had a stroke, I danced.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay, but
Yeah.
after the stroke.
After the stroke, rather.
First pa rin siya.
No, I danced every year.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's to keep the tradition also.
But I just pity the medical team watching me.
No, they'll be on
Very,
standby.
very careful. Taking my BP, my pulse rate, and everything.
Okay, so that's going to be an event in and of itself.
Yeah.
Right? Val San Diego dancing to welcome the Fluvial Parade. Asan na napita?
It will be at port area, port one in Fort Piruno, Fort San Pedro.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, unsa kaning oras more or less? So that we'll have
That
an idea.
the 6 o'clock in 6 to 7 in the morning. Yeah.
You guys look forward to that, okay? Val San Diego dancing as
It's
well.
awesome.
And hopefully we'll also see
Yeah.
Rocco Steady there.
Sayas ako. I want to experience.
I promise
makataon
you
ako.
the IDs, and you just tell me how many, so I can
Sige po.
secure IDs for you, so you have the access to go inside the church.
Salamat kayo.
So you have some documentations and the real experience of the fiesta.
Salamat kayo.
Okay. Wow, what a day this has been.
Yeah,
right?
amazing, man.
You know, I didn't expect this collaboration to happen, but it did happen. Daghang salamat, Val San Diego, mga kaigalan. Oh my God, this is, I still can't believe we actually did this.
Yeah, we pulled
and
it
of
off.
course, all the way from Houston, Texas, mga kaigalan, Rocco Steady. Watch out for his newest album very soon. It'll drop this February. Look for him in the FilipinoRapper.com.
Yeah.
Filipino Rapper on the social media platform.
Yes, sir.
Instagram, Facebook. Are you on TikTok too?
Yes, I am.
He's also on
Yes.
TikTok, YouTube.
You can go look for him and enjoy his entire album, which will be released very soon.
Yeah. Called Who That Filipino.
Who that Filipino?
Who that
Say,
Filipino?
"Kinsa man na siya?"
Kinsa man na siya?
Kinsa man na siya?
I've been hearing that all my life.
It's a day na siya.
Yeah. You mean to say you've been underestimated all your life?
Wala ka nang,
People always
you know,
curious as
be
to
like,
who you
kinsa
are.
man na siya?
Kinsa man na
Yo.
siya?
Yeah, kinsa man na
So this is
siya?
your time to show people.
Yeah,
this is who I am.
Ingno na to. And it's also kind of a message for all Filipinos out there, like, who that Filipino, because there's oftentimes, like in America and all around the world, where Filipinos are the only ones in the room. Like, for example, there's a diverse mix of different cultures. Bakit on yun na to? Kinsa ta? Oh, kinsa man ta? Oh, kinsa man na sila? Oh, bitaw. Can I make a quick shout out?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to make a quick shout out to my family. I don't know if a lot of y'all know, but Justine and I are actually related. So shout out to the Narvioses out
Narvios
there.
family.
Yeah, to the Narvioses out there. I just wanted to shout out my family while I'm here. To everybody. Hello.
Okay, thank you. Well, we're gonna cap this off with the original Sinulog song. This is the original 1981 version, remastered.
Viva Pitsenyor!
Viva
Viva
Pitsenyor!
Thank you so much.
Rocco Steady!
Thank you, Jiggy. Thank you, Justine.
Thank you.
Daghang salamat sa iyong pagpaminaw sa top of the morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And my name is Justine Narvios. Viva Pitsenyor, guys.
I'll catch you again tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining our lives. Joel Lim and Herbert Abeliana, thank you, kayo. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Let's have a photograph. We have to
Yeah.
What an
watch the
awesome
photograph.
episode. Man.
Thank you so much for joining us. And Sir Bob, thank you for enjoying us today. I'm so happy to meet you.
Before I gotta go, very
We'll have a
nice to
photo
meet you.
outside. Insert, please.